Isn't it awesome? I love it.
Yeah.
I use it every day, every single day.
Okay, we are live, by the way.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Coin Q&A. It is Thursday, November 14th. I think. We do this about every week, most of the time. What's that, Chris? Your new book?
Oh, I got one of those.
He wants us to read it to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I only like the pictures.
That's a bedtime story for the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool book.
Why don't you tell them what you got there?
Well, I have
Wait,
Walter
wait,
Breen.
Chris,
What?
how much did you pay for that? Show that again.
So this is a big book. Okay, this book is gigantic. It's hard to actually understand. The cover price is $100, and let's see when it was published. So 1987, $100 for a book in 1987. So can you imagine how few people could actually afford to invest in a book like this? I was lucky enough to find one on betterworldbooks.com. It actually came from a Goodwill store in Washington State. And I paid $45 for it, shipped right to me.
That's a steal.
I got a really good deal on it.
Back in college, my physics book was $250. That was at E5.
By the way, there are
Look
some
how good that did you.
There are some other Walter Breen books available on eBay right now at reasonable prices. Not this specific one, but there's some other books that he wrote that they seem to be very informative. I'm going to buy some of those too, but check them out. Yeah.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, what?
Should we tell Christopher how much I paid for this one?
Oh, you better not. You break his heart.
No, go ahead.
Was it like 12 bucks shipped?
That's great. Where'd you get it from?
Thrift books.
Okay.
Ken found it for me.
Hey, I'm happy anybody gets a good deal. I mean,
it was used and it doesn't have the. It was used, doesn't have the cover, but I don't care. Got the same.
I have no idea why I'm doing this.
Okay, look at Blinky over there.
We have Strobe Chuck.
Question though, Ken, doesn't a section of yours have it upside down?
That was one that came in and went out.
Yeah, does yours? What I'm wondering is if
he sold it as an error.
Has part of his upside down also. Mine doesn't.
I'm
going to see if I can figure this out. I'll be back.
Okay,
DBO 101 is what that was.
What part was upside down, Ken?
Like the chapter on Buffalo Nickels. It was bound correctly, but the pages were all upside down.
Did you get extra money for it when you sold it?
No, I about broke even.
Hi, everybody.
But it did that much. Okay, let's tell these people what we're doing, who we are, and what we expect from them. We got the coin Q&A. We have it every week. People send in coins, pictures of coins, and they send a question along with the coin, and they send it to, well, let me type this. Let's see, ! QA. That will give us the, hopefully, the email address to which you can send your photos and questions. Clear, crisp photos, upright. Also, give us a photo of your coin as close as you can to, to up and down, because you get so many are like this. But we have ways to straighten out the photos. It always helps to have a full shot of the front, a full shot of the back, and close-ups of the area of interest. Can you tell us what's going on with the center of the bird's head? Well, we need to see the center of the bird's head. And that's what we do. We got, scores of photos, lots and lots of them. So share the link to this show with all the people in your social groups, in your coin groups on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever you happen to hang out. And we'll make a thing of it. We'll go around and introduce everybody. We'll start with this guy over here.
I'll be back in a minute. He's having technical issues.
That's right. There he is. Oh, device is not connected, Chuck. Well, we can start with Mantic Coins. He's over here.
Hey, I'm Shay Hoffmaster, Mantic Coins. I've got a YouTube channel. Haven't been doing a whole lot over there lately. I've got some side projects I'm working on with Ken and CJ. But I will be back soon doing videos of varieties and errors. And I specifically like, I've spent a lot of time with half dollars, spent a lot of time with quarters. I'm looking at dimes, finding all sorts of cool stuff, and hopefully I can share it with you soon.
Very good.
Flashing us again. That's
Paula's up.
Hey, I'm Paula Bluhm. I collect coins. I love errors and varieties. I'm becoming an error and variety aficionado. I'm working hard on it. I like to learn about them, and I like to pass on the information that I learn with you guys. And yeah, that's about it. And I didn't get an American Silver Eagle today.
Sorry. Over here, this guy, keep your hands and fingers away from his mouth.
Yes. Hey, everybody. I'm Chris Rhodes. Most of you know me from Facebook. I'm pretty active in a few coin groups on Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel, Chris's Coin Channel. I do write blog articles, and that is Adventures in Coin Roll Hunting. And I would like to say I was able to watch a few of the YouTube videos for the weekend we just had here. Jeff, very good presentation on the nickels. It was great. Beth, funny as heck. I mean, I love you, Beth. You're awesome. And that's about all I got to watch because I'm a busy guy. But kudos to you two for getting on there and doing that. And I'm here to help answer some questions. Oh, and by the way, I just named myself Max Headroom, and that's kind of for Chuck because he's kind of like shaking all over the place. So thank you.
Well, it helps to tell you apart because I can't tell you apart otherwise.
Blinky.
Here he is, Blinky.
I think I stopped blinking. Didn't I stop
did.
blinking?
You
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Well, it's because I don't have YouTube open. And for some reason, if I open YouTube, I suddenly start blinking. So I can't see any of the chat. All I can do is watch the comments in the live stream, but I can't actually chat with anyone. So if you say hello and I don't say hello back, understand.
Here's a trick. You can open up YouTube. You'll blink for a bit, but then you pop out the chat and close the rest of the YouTube.
I tried that. It didn't work.
Okay.
It's like anything I do other than StreamYard, no BS, might as well write me off.
Okay.
All I do is blink.
We'll just I'll send you a hammer.
Hey, nice shirt, Chuck. Nice shirt, man.
Where'd you
Nice
get
shirt.
the copper
Want my
coin?
shirt? Copper coin, just an amber panel original.
Yes.
There you go.
It's
And,
ap@coppercoins.com, right?
Yes, ap@coppercoins.com, or you can go to her website, coinsandcreations.com. And she actually has all of the different designs that we've come up with ready to go. All you have to do is order it, and she'll make you a shirt and send it to you.
Very nice.
So my name is Chuck Daughtrey. I am the creator and author of coppercoins.com. I have a website, coppercoins.com. I'm on Facebook and YouTube, all under the same name. And I host an auction every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And I host OBW roll reveals, or original roll reveals. And basically what we do is we sell the 50 coins in the roll right after the auction on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I go through these rolls. And I do it live on a stream so everyone can see the coins they are going to receive. And sometimes we get some really good stuff out of these rolls. And I don't know the contents of the rolls prior to opening them. Nobody knows the contents of the rolls because they're all original rolls. And that's exactly what it means. They're original rolls from back in the year when the coins were made. And other than that, I don't guess I really have anything else to offer until we start answering some questions. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, baby.
Baby.
Hey, I just checked out that website, coinsandcreations.com, and there's 3 shirts available there, and all 3 of them are pretty neat. So props to Amber for that. Good.
She did a great job.
She's got the artistic eye for sure.
Yeah, she rejected about half a dozen of my designs before she accepted a few of them.
And they look really that, what is it called with that it looks metallic, Chuck?
That is tends to be an issue because the metallic copper, like what you see here, it actually reflects. We can't order that anymore. They ran out of stock and didn't put it back up for order. So we're actually using a lighter brown now that kind of looks coppery, and that's what we're using for the newer orders. Yes, very few people actually ended up with one of the shirts that has a metallic copper on it.
They're very cool.
I like
I'm
that.
trying to get her to make one that says Copper Coins Kids for my grandkids.
She did make one that has the word love on it, and the O is the penny design.
Oh,
and
cool.
then below it says Copper Coins, and it says it in real playful letters. She put it on a girl's T-shirt for her daughter Maya, and it looks wonderful. It looks great. Maya supports it, and she really likes it.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
I meant to press the mute, so
You meant to press the mute.
He probably has to blow his nose.
yeah. I have a man cold. I'm suffering. I'll probably die. It's tough. The struggle is real. All right, I want to get over to chat here somewhere. It was here a minute ago. See who else is in here. We got me, Paula, Sovereign Archer, Beth Coddington, Brian Weedle, Jeff Stanley. Great show, by the way. Linda Wallace, Coin Dragon. Oh, all kinds of new names here for sure.
Yeah, like Coin Dragon. Who's that guy?
That's Frank. Frank himself. Now, look, we had the Coin Seminar weekend this past weekend. A lot of good shows out there, but we have coming up a Viewer's Choice Award. If you were a viewer and watched these shows, you can vote for your favorite. And I think I got a banner for that.
I got it.
Ta-da. Vote for your favorite show because there's an award going to one of the hosts of one of the shows. And coinseminarweekend@gmail.com. Just put the name of the show or the name of the channel that was broadcasting this weekend in the title of your email and send it along. And we'll be opening those up and counting the ballots this Sunday night.
Everybody did great. Yeah.
Hi, everyone that just joined us.
Koi. Haven't seen Koi in a long time.
There he is. Penny Parents here.
I haven't been around much. There's Art.
Adam Chambers is in the house.
RPM group. Art Ring.
Coins. How are you?
Arthur.
Yeah, I think I've got one ready. Otherwise,
All right.
that's not ready.
Got a box from Arizona today. Thank you.
I got bills.
Oh, I got a box.
I got a box that looks just like that.
Can I have it?
From some southern state. I don't remember which it was.
I'd say that'd be North Carolina.
Can I have it?
Nice selection of rolls I got here. Ooh, I don't even want to open them all.
I have not looked at coins in like 2 weeks. So don't. The only ones I've looked at are the ones on Facebook groups of everybody else posting.
Hey guys, I'm kind of excited. I got a vacation coming up. I'm leaving Saturday. I'm going to be spending 8 days up in Connecticut. And there just happens to be a coin show not too far away from where I'm going to be staying. So even when I go on vacation, I'm still going to a coin show.
Speaking of that, I am so upset. Charmy Harker posted she went to a coin show, I believe it was last weekend, in Portland, Oregon, 4 hours away from me. I knew nothing about that. I was so upset.
I check CoinZip all the time.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just never have seen a coin show anywhere near me. So A, I didn't get to go to the coin show, and B, I didn't get to meet Charmy. That's what more upsets me. I would have loved to have picked her brain a little while.
Well, yeah, and invite her to the show.
Yeah, right. Well, I would have done that. I'm kind of a beggar that way. Please.
Maybe that's a good thing to tell people. I don't know if anybody knows, but there is a website called coinzip.com, and you can type in your zip code and how far you're willing to travel, and it tells you about any coin shows coming up near your area. I check that thing weekly. Now there's stuff that goes on that is not on CoinZip, obviously, because it comes down to people adding their shows to the website. But I've been really lucky in finding a lot of good stuff through that website. So I had this vacation plan, so I figured I'll check to see if there's anything around there. So sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. I put the zip code in of the area I'm going to be in, and it showed nothing at all. It was telling me stuff from Ohio. I don't know why. So then I just broke it down by state, and I checked a few of the shows that were going on during the dates I was going to be up there, and one just happened to be like an hour away. So I'm definitely going to drive an hour to a coin show. The shows I go to where I live now, I drive over 2 hours to get to them. So I'm really looking forward to it because
I would have gone to this one in a day. I would have just driven up there 4 hours, gone to it, driven home. No problem.
I found that I've been going to these shows, and even though they're in different directions sometimes, so they could be 4 to 6 hours apart from each other, it's always the same basic group of dealers. So I'm kind of picking them clean. So I'm really excited to get into an area that I've never been before. So
I bet it's beautiful there right now too.
Yeah.
Coin show in Raleigh, North Carolina.
There, Chris?
What's that?
Do you have family there?
No. We're going up to the Foxwoods Casino Resort.
Fun.
Yeah. I'm going to be hopefully on The Price is Right. I will be at the show
that's right.
2 days, so I have a good chance of getting called on down.
That's right. I remember you talking about that. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
All kinds of cool stuff planned. I was going to go to Jay Leno too, but it's on the same day as one of the Price is Right shows. So I'd rather take a chance and win money than to meet Jay Leno. Now, if it was Jay Leno's garage, I'd be there.
Hit all the cars? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Shay's got something up, I see.
Yeah, at the bit.
Time to get to work.
Time to get to work. Put on the face.
All right, time to get to work. Here we go. Marley and T sends in weird one coming in. Is this a novelty coin? What's going on here? All right.
Hey, you didn't laugh out loud.
No, I didn't.
Ooh, a yin yang.
Kind of yin yang looking.
Somebody
that is a very cool.
It out, right?
I have to say that's
cool. A little more yin than there is yang.
Yeah, there's a little.
Oh, poor Abe.
What really would have sucked if that would have been a double die.
Yeah. So
that's very cool.
Did that come out of a roll? I would imagine it would have fell apart.
Definitely a novelty coin.
Yeah, it was definitely somebody did that.
That's the answer to the question. Now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Man, so many things happen to coins intentionally. A lot of counter strikes out there where you'll see Abe, and he's got an outline of Kennedy's head right beside him. Or there's 50 states that have been done with counter stamps. Lots of different designs, and they trade. They sell for a buck. It's more of a thank you or convenience fee. It's not so much because they're valuable. Technically, they're damaged, but I would keep it.
Technically.
And I'm going to go off on the learning the minting process again. If you study the minting process and learn about it, those are the types of things that you'll be able to see right off and know that cannot happen at the mint. I suppose it could happen at the mint if somebody in the back room took one and did that little thing in the back room.
Yeah, I took my
just because something happens at the mint does not make it a mint error. Mint error happens during the minting process, either from when it starts out and goes through the metal strip is rolled out from that point to the end of to the last strike of the coin. That is the mint. That is the start and finish to the minting process. Anything that happens if it gets dropped on the floor and stepped on, it's not a mint error. If it happened at the mint, it's not a mint error. Anyway, sorry.
That covers it.
Thanks, Paula.
I think there's technically three types of mint errors. There's planchette error, die errors, and strike errors. Correct?
Are there
Yes.
French errors?
There are planchette errors. Planchette. Sorry, planchette. I'll put on my New York planchette.
Planchette.
Planchard. It's a planchard.
Hey, I'll read this one. Why not? From Pocket Change Exchange. Here's a penny floor I installed.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This may trigger some people.
Oh, that gives me anxiety. I'd have my nose to that floor.
Why?
Hermit Gerster's wheat pennies in there too.
I don't know because I just would.
That's a
and
class
then-
6 double die.
Late ones.
Maybe down with a pry bar.
I cry.
I wanted that one and that one and that one.
I've seen these installed. You get the pennies, you spread them out, you glue them down one at a time, right?
Oh,
You
God.
know, in some places we'll fill them with grout, so it'll fill the little gaps in between the pennies. But boy, that's a lot of cleaning up to get it to shine again. And then you coat the entire surface with a clear epoxy, and you got a no muss floor. It's going to hold up for decades. And really check out the price. Look, there's a wheat. Do you see it?
There's lots of that.
There's a few of them in there.
3, 4.
I have even seen it before where they've taken the different tones of the coins and like the lighter ones, they put them in like patterns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How about the guy that made that pyramid and then
A million pennies? Oh,
I think this is pretty cool. I respect the art of it. I really do. Hopefully they were searched before they were put down. If not, tell me where it's at and I'm chiseling them babies out.
It's gonna
I
be
think it's
a-
pretty cool too, but he should have used nickels.
For $half. Hey, you know what? You could have covered more surface area at one time if you used $half.
I can't believe Chuck didn't say $half.
You know,
It takes about $2.50 to cover the floor with pennies, and add the epoxy in there. The labor involved, you get about $4 to $5 per square foot. It's actually cheaper than Italian marble.
it's a lot more expensive than hardwood, though.
Yeah,
Gosh.
You can have hardwood installed for about $2.
Well, thank you for sharing, and now I'm gonna have nightmares.
That's right.
but I've seen this done on tables, countertops.
Chris, hi.
Down
I
at the
still
local
like the
bar.
idea of foreign coins.
Jeff Stanley said no nickels.
I could use the entire I could use the entire day, night, and next day just crawling around on somebody's floor that had foreign coin.
Yeah. And then you find something, and I got to get that.
And invite your numismatic friends over and hand out magnifying glasses to all of them. Keep them busy for a day.
What country is this one from? You got to flip it over backwards.
Yeah, look at the back. But I've seen it done on bars, and the interesting thing is it strikes up conversations. Oh, look, honey, here's the year we got married. Here's the year we got divorced.
Yeah.
You open up a joint for that one. Here's when our little precious little snowflake was born.
Mike
Here's the year we
Gadger
got
said he
divorced
did.
out.
Mike Gadger said he did it to his bar.
Yeah, there's a bar in far western Montana. The entire thing is just coated everywhere in silver dollars.
Yeah, Silver Dollar Bar, I think it's called, right?
I don't remember what it was called exactly. I got a picture of it somewhere. Yeah, I stopped just to see what it's because they had billboards on the highway leading up to it, and I thought, yeah, well, I got to go see this.
Yeah,
So I did.
south of the border here.
Wow.
Stop! You just drove past south of the border.
South of the border? You talking about the one in South Carolina?
That's the one. It's just south of the border.
It's south of the border for North Carolina.
It's like a taco resort. It's the Disneyland with enchiladas.
Okay, so I have a little story to tell you about that one. When this last hurricane was going through, we were actually making our way from Florida to North Carolina, driving through the hurricane. And the hardest part of the hurricane that we hit on the highway was actually right there at south of the border. So we stopped and we tried to get us a room for the night because it was storming pretty bad and there was a lot of wind. And they wanted $160 for a room for a night there. The place looks like a roadside attraction from the 50s or 60s. It doesn't look like a modern place.
The neon sign.
And they wanted $160 for a room. We decided to drive through the hurricane. And so we did. I'm that cheap.
I would have too. So, hey, Silver Dollar Bar and Grill is in Jackson, Wyoming. So
yeah, no, it's not the one. This one was definitely west of Missoula, Montana.
Okay. This one's in Wyoming, and one of the reviews says only 2 words: corn chowder.
Well, that really depends on where you're from.
Corn chowder.
Corn chowder.
There's a place in Vegas that had a silver dollar walls. My friends left, and I stayed an extra hour, says Jeff.
I would have been crying, an emotional wreck.
They're probably all Carson Cities, too.
Probably.
What would be the worst part is to see a nice dimple reverse and not be able to see the obverse, not know what year it's from.
Oh.
A shallow end.
From Exchange, is this a deep cameo?
No, sir.
No.
I don't even think it's actually a cameo. In order for the coin to be a cameo, that pit in the inside of his ear would have to be totally frosted. The concave area in the front of his eye would have to be totally frosted. And then for it to be a deep cameo, that frosting would have to have a lot of contrast to the mirror fields. And you don't have either one, I don't think.
Not the best photos.
I agree. I think the glare is taken away from some of the frosting, but I agree, not a deep cameo.
Not a decam, my good sir.
Black and white.
Please help with 1965 1 dimes from Tiffany Yu. What do you think? What are we looking at?
Oh, ouch.
That's been chewed up.
That dime's hurt badly.
I feel bad for FDR.
It's bent. It's not only dented and marked up and spent, it's bent.
Spent and bent.
Sorry, Tiffany, you have a coin which is a normal coin that has been damaged by sidewalk wear or by some sort of possibly vehicle driving over it.
Could have been the Cookie Monster, too.
Could have been.
Could have been.
There's no mint process that would create this distortion on the ridges and the rims. $2005 West Virginia quarter. Is this machine doubling?
Don't much see anything.
Yeah.
A little tiny bit. I'm seeing a lot of glare.
A little bit of dye deterioration, but no doubling at all.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's dye deterioration.
Draw a line from the center of the coin out to the rim, and you're finding that same doubling is always along that radial, no matter the direction. That's the metal flow going into the devices in the die and wearing the leading and trailing edges. And over time, the dies just kind of wear down in those particular spots.
Yeah, the only place I even saw anything was above was it the S and the T?
Yeah.
In States?
Yeah.
Oh,
West.
West.
No.
West. Sorry.
There's one other photo. I think it was the very first one.
Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah Valley.
Now, we just covered the top 3 issues you're going to find with coins. Damage, mechanical doubling or machine doubling, and die deterioration. And if you can get your head around those 3 things, it's going to save you so much trouble when you're going through coins.
It's going to frustrate you immensely because you'll know 99% of what you see is worthless.
Yep.
Agent.
From Steve.
I'll read this one, Ken. You're sick, man. Take it easy.
Oh, please.
I'm going to blow a nose.
Look, I know how man colds can be, so
Don't feed it.
I'm trying to help a brother out here.
He's suffering.
From Steve P. I am just now getting back into coins after 40 plus years when Dad had collection. Attached is 4 pictures. Hopefully they are clear enough to view. I came across a 70p nickel that appears to be DDO and facial distortion. I found it cool and to get your thoughts.
I wonder if that's Steve Patat, Chuck.
That's very possible.
I'd say that's got to be some sort of damage.
I don't think so.
Or you know what? Look at the absence of
Abrasion.
detail on his neck. So I wonder if those issues are related.
Looks almost like Skeletor.
Where's Beast Man?
Well, I don't have any good input on that one. That's definitely different. It's not a double die. We can mark that off right away. But exactly what it is, I couldn't tell you. But it does almost look like a skeletal face. How awkwardly empty that temple area is.
Well, there's something on the rim at like 2 o'clock.
That looks like little rim cuds around the outsides of the letters. I think that's probably kind of common on nickels.
I
wonder-
say that die is just worn out.
That could very well be the case. Some sort of dye subsidence or something.
Mm-hmm. That would be my guess.
I'd have to be guessing on a nickel.
I was just looking at those indentations right below that formation on the lower jaw area. It almost looks like something may have hit it, and then it was still in circulation for a while and kind of smoothed it out.
Moved it out.
I'm trying to find a nickel in my oh, there we go.
I just obviously it was abraded like heavily at one point because that neck is gone. But I'm not seeing any dye abrasion. So
No.
maybe that's another, like you said, Chris, maybe it's just that it's smoothed out.
I'm going to look at I found a nickel. Wow. Yeah, the nickel I have doesn't even have anything close to that shape to it. I mean, the cheek on Jefferson on this one is sunken in and everything, and that's just not normal to that extreme. It's kind of weird, actually.
I think the marks that you're talking about, Chris, though, those do look like damage.
The weird part is, though, the bottom of the anomaly that looks like some sort of skeletal feature is still very sharp,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. That's kind of weird.
I mean, do you think they could have been trying to abrade away a clash and just did
No.
That would be too deep, I would
On the
think.
field.
It's a high relief area of the coin. You're not going to have a clash on a high relief area of the coin.
No, I meant, well, yeah, that's true.
But
Sorry.
if it's dye subsidence, like you said, Chuck, that would make sense because it's a sunken dye.
It could be. I don't know. It almost looks more like a struck through to me, but it's really difficult to come up with a struck through that has sharp edges in some places and not sharp edges in other places.
Yeah, it doesn't look that dramatic on the whole coin picture.
I mean, even the bone structure above his eye socket it's just weird.
And see, again, we're talking about skeletal and eye socket. I still think it's Skeletor.
Can we go back to the whole obverse, the full obverse picture?
Well, if I had some grime right below the lip there, shaped like a 3 or a W, it wouldn't really stand out much, and would kind of look like this.
I'm lost.
I think it's well, the bit at the temple, you'll see orange peel texture in there from dye wear a lot of times. But the bit under the lip, I think, is a strike from a foreign object that just left an odd mark.
What about this? What if it's look at those, see how close the rim is to the letters? Maybe it's a dryer coin. And
but the rim doesn't have the
rim's really close to the letters on all the nickels from that era.
Typical dryer coin look.
It's kind of like the Lincoln cents from the mid 1960s up to 68. The letters are so close to the rim because of basically what amounts to hubware that they often merge with the rim in that area.
Yeah, I
like here's a dryer coin. I pulled it out.
Damage and dye wear, combination of those two.
What's the rim look like on that one, Shay? Okay, much higher though.
Yeah, definitely dryer coin because it's really raised rim. I don't know.
Let's put this in the unexplained category.
Yep, keep it.
Whose coin was that? That was Steve Patat's?
No,
Oh.
Steve P, but not Patat. No.
Oh, it's not Patat? Okay.
From Robert Gravitt, 1941p, doubled I. I found what I believe to be a doubled I, but can't find it on either Variety Vista or doubledie.com. All help is greatly appreciated.
I'm not seeing it.
You're talking
You're
about
talking about that tiny little bit under the lid?
We got a die crack on the back, 2 of them. Pretty decent shape for the coin.
And what I'm seeing for sure looks like just part of the normal eyeball, because the eyeball underneath the eyelid would generally have the small concave slit in it to represent the iris. This could also be a die gouge, but it's not a doubled eye.
I see a very, very small anomaly
Under
just
the eyelid.
north of the right there. But that might be deterioration.
No, I don't think it's that. It wouldn't be deterioration. What I'm seeing in that area is just a typical little die scratches or gouges that would generally show up on the obverse of a Lincoln cent. It just looks like gouges to me.
I do have to compliment on the pictures.
That actually goes, I think it might. Can you go up? Does he have, can we see it further?
Does that meet the other crack? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. And it looks like it's displaced down there, where it hits where meets the wheat right there. It looks like it's, so that's probably a retained cud or what are they calling it now?
A pre-cud.
Pre-cud. I don't like
I don't like that term at all because I know what Paul's thinking already.
it. Rhymes with something else.
Yeah. I like retained cud.
I'm sticking with that.
Well, I don't make out a difference in elevation from the normal side to the retained side.
Can you zoom in to that where it meets the wheat on that bottom crack?
Yeah, the outside line of the wheat stalk there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is definitely a little bit of displacement there.
I see it.
Coy's
Keep her for
But
sure.
not that. I would keep it.
Coy's wants to check out Liberty.
Koi does. A little smushed.
Yeah.
And it's got a tire mark right through the middle of it.
A tire mark. It's got a boo-boo. Cindelicious. Do you know her, Ken?
It's Cindy. It's my little buddy.
I know she is.
I said, you got to send that in.
Oh, you told her to? Okay, cool.
Send that into the Q&A. And she says, hello, my favorite coin nerds. That's us. The first image is an 1866 3-cent nickel with a large Z on her face. I do not think it is a scratch. It is not incused. It is raised. I can feel it with my fingernail as well. Feels like just a tiny die crack that's on the reverse of the rim, except it's on her face, shaped like a Z. So I'm stumped. And the rest of the images are another coin. We get back to that. So let's look at the
Zora. Or Zorro. Zorro. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Serious.
That's graffiti.
poor woman. By the way, I will never admit to being a nerd.
Me either. I'm proud.
Now it's raised because you have, let's see, look at the line directly close to the eye. You got a deep, dark groove and a raised bit. That's a furrow. It's been shoved up.
And Ken knows what he's talking about because he used to be a farmer.
I used to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, he dug
with,
for a living.
Field. So you take the tip of a knife and you want to gouge your N or your Z or a V into a coin. Well, it's going to leave a mark all right, but the metal you displace by shoving the knife into the metal is going to be off to one side or even split.
It's funny. I have something like that, and Frank has a matching one, seated, and I think they're both Z's also. I gotta find out.
You know, you'll find a lot of Canadian coinage and British coinage with X's on them because people were unhappy with the monarchy for a period of time, and they were defacing a lot of the coinage. So you will definitely come across a lot of Canadian stuff like that.
Yep, that's a shame, but that's definitely damage.
Yeah, I like to explain it like if you think when you're at the beach or something and you drag a stick behind you and it creates a trough in the sand, but on either side of that trough, it actually creates mounds, metal, sand, or whatever it may be. It can't just go away. You can't really compress it any more than it already is on a coin. So you displace it, you move it, it goes somewhere else. So if you are making a deep groove into the coin, there's also going to be a raised area on the coin. And if you remember from many times when we've talked about struck throughs, that's one of the ways you can determine the difference between a damaged coin and a struck through. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, struck through won't have the raised metal. And this is intentional. It's damage, but it's man-made damage. It's anthropomorphic, done on purpose.
I think I had a matching Morgan dollar for this with a Z on the face.
You match up the handwriting, huh?
Yeah, I think I have a seated with them, and Frank has one too. It has a Z.
This is the Zebediah 3-center.
What?
Some sicko running around in the late 1800s. Facing coins.
Zorro.
All right. Let's see. She also sent some Kennedy $half pictures and wanted to know if the reverse was MD or a double die. And I can definitely say it is MD. Let me find it. Yeah. Yeah, that's mechanical doubling.
That L was a great shot because the MD was only part of the way up. Okay, there. Look at the top of the L, the width from left to right of the L. That's normal. Whereas lower down in the L, it's the same width from the far left to the far right. But that mechanical doubling, where the die struck what was already in place, it flattened it out. And in this case, it flattened it out at an angle, so it tapers. So it'll be closer to the field down at the bottom and closer to the top of the relief up at the top where it fades away. %, MD.
Yeah. We got some on the feathers here too. All right. Let's see. I think I have one last one prepared. Let me get over to it real quick.
I'm going to get in there and open 1 or 2 up here. Oop, I lost it.
Anybody want to read that while I'm loading?
From Leonard, throwback to the Packers here, Magikowski.
Yahoo.
Unlisted 2015 P doubled ear. I have had this sent to me by Steve Young, who, by the way, if nobody knows who Leonard, I'm going to butcher it. I say Matajasic. But if you guys don't know who he is or who Steve Young is, you better find out, because these guys are the kings, the champions of finding undiscovered doubled dies.
Yeah.
Anyway, a few years ago, but this looks like a minor doubled ear extending away from the actual ear like the other ear listings. The ear itself on the bottom looks like a machine double except for what is under it. So let's check it out.
That's so minor if it is. So minor.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but I almost think I see a notch type thing there.
But below that, there.
Right. Yes,
That.
right there.
That's a doubled ear. The longer bit is MD.
So minor though.
But that low bit, that's extra metal. That's the doubling.
See, I don't see that in the other picture though, from the other direction.
May just be the light. You can see it on this.
Yeah, I can see it there.
So the die has this doubling, this little lower blob. But during production, the die hit the coin after it was already struck and left that little extra flat shelf.
I wonder if anyone would even.
There's another one under your belt, Leonard. Like you need any more, man.
And it may, another one may have been found and just not, it might have been too minor to list.
How does he do that?
He does all kinds of magic.
You know what's cool about Leonard? I actually met Leonard through eBay. I bought some double dies on eBay. And I think his name was Leonard Lennymon or something like that. And yeah, we got to talking on eBay, and next thing you know, we're talking on Facebook, and yeah, Leonard's a cool dude. It's funny, a lot of us are all into the same things: coins, cars. But Leonard's also a really good mechanic. So if anybody
Oh,
needs,
there he is. Hey, I wasn't even paying attention to chat.
yeah,
Leonard, spell out how we would pronounce your last name. Matajasic. Matajasic?
I say Matajasic, but I'm sure it's way wrong.
I always thought it's Matuyasik.
Matoya?
Matuyasik.
Matuyasik. Matuyasik. Matuyasik. Matiashak. Matiashak.
Matiashik.
Matiashik. I gotta write that down.
Stick with Leonard Lennyman. How's that?
I just call him Lenny.
Okay, I've got one open. Let me see if I can make this work.
I'm gonna write it down. I need this paper.
Oh, you got one ready? We'll go with it. From Coin Junkie. Hi, everybody. Hope we're all having a wonderful day. This Thursday, I'll be sending in 3 coins that I'm in the process of attributing and would like to run them by the panel for confirmation and guidance in attributing the pennies. First up is a 1960p, which I believe is a DDO. And I've got his next one, I think, ready.
Okay.
My first question would be, where are you sending them? Just curious.
That'd be my question too.
The pictures were really big. Just give me one more second here.
Big pictures are good if they're in focus.
Mm-hmm. And then I got to go yell at my family to stop using Netflix. And
Hey, you sound like me, man. I finally trained my kids to stay off of Fortnite while I'm on this thing.
You've been steady so far tonight.
Yeah, because they actually listened to me tonight. Well, it also helps that I literally tied them up and duct taped their mouths. So,
What was the question on this one? If it was a DDO?
It's a double die. And I'm seeing something below the L.
yeah.
Maybe it's very
No.
small.
Hard to tell. It's taking a hit.
That.
No. There's too many other marks around there like that. I would call it a die gouge.
All right. Then he's got something at the top left of the B and E, which I think is just a little die wear.
He'd have to tell me where his double die is. That
Whoa. Let's look at that eyelid there.
I think that's a double eyelid.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a nice and strong double eyelid there.
Oh, he just put in chat, doubled eyelid. Yeah.
Good one.
And
So-
tell him to put in chat where
found
he's
a couple of
sending me.
those in your coin roll opening, didn't you?
Sorry, what?
I think you found recently a couple of those in your coin roll reveals.
Yeah, they were doubled eyelids. They weren't as strong as this one.
All right. So 1960 large date, doubled eyelid.
And he's sending, where are you sending these, Coin Junkie? Are you sending them in for grading?
I would actually say no on both accounts to any of the major die grading services. The coin grading services are going to send that one back as a normal coin, and it's going to be graded far lower than it would be worth as a normal coin. And we were talking about an MS63 64 coin, and they're not going to put a die number on it. They don't assign die numbers.
Oh, us guys.
What's that?
He said us guys, you guys, he said.
He's going to send the coin in to who?
I think he meant picture or something. I don't know.
Digitally.
Digitally. Okay.
Oh, for tonight, I thought maybe you were going to send him to us as gifts. Darn it.
Well, yeah, it's definitely doubled eyelid. I have not looked to see if it's one that's already known or not.
Probably.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying anything on Wexler.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
What's that? I know that I have 1, 2, 3 extra eyelids south.
It looks like maybe 12 on Variety Vista.
Yeah, Variety Vista's got let's see, DDO 12, and then Wexler has 7, and Chuck.
Hi, Ken.
Chuck's got 15.
None of the ones I've seen listed are that strong.
This one's a close in position.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you got a secondary just below that. Right in there.
Mm.
But that, we're getting into pixelation of the photo. We can't confirm it based on this photo.
Cool.
No, that's a strong double eyelid though. Good one.
I don't think that's a match for 12.
Now I'd have to ask him if it's one of the rolls he bought from me.
Yeah.
Go
I
now.
got a second picture loaded up. Let me see if I can make that work.
While you do that, I'll grab his third.
Yeah, I don't think it's 12.
There we go. He's got an 1861D, and he says it's an RPM. So for that, we got to zoom in. And he did that for us, right in here. You see the little horn?
Oh yeah.
Definitely an RPM.
Yep. And I think he's got something back here if we have a look. Little line inside here, and one of the little horns.
That actually looks like one of the known especially
RPM.
that little mark coming off the end of the 9 there too. That kind of reminds me of something I've seen recently. I was looking at some 61D RPMs on Chuck's website. No, the little line going towards the mint mark from the 9. I think that may be a die marker for one of them.
It's a little bit right.
I'm unable to look right now because if I look, I'll start blinking and I may lose my connection.
I'll bring it up. Let's see what we got here. 61. Uh-oh. Somebody's kitty.
That's mine. Pay her no mind. I want to see
She's hungry, Paula.
the position up there.
Kitty cats need love.
Looks like a split in the lower serif as well.
Looks like it might be 21.
Yeah, these photos are wonderful.
Yeah.
You gonna match for 21?
I think so. Let me share my.
I don't think so because the line going down in the center of the mint mark is over too far to the right on Chuck's example, I think.
I was looking at the position.
I'd lean more towards.
Yeah, it's hard to go back and forth between.
Oh, there you are.
I think 23 looks close.
The 22 and 23 are real similar. Just a little tilt in there.
Wrong kind of hook to be number 23.
Mm-hmm.
29 looks close. I'm just going off of memory here.
Wrong position.
Get the position of the mint mark locked down first.
My cat is freaking out.
What are you doing to that poor cat?
I'm not seeing that. I'm
You got 39 RPMs for 1961D listed on Variety Vista.
back to 17.
Chuck has too many listed on his website.
Yep. I'd list one like that though.
Where's Shay? Can you pull that picture back up?
Oh, Shay.
Read it.
Or no, that was Ken.
Ken.
Ken's got it, I think.
There it is.
Does he have one straight on?
Nope, they're all a little bit tilted. It really helps if you have it straight.
What about the other one?
But to get the shadow out of the way, you've got them at an angle. And this looks like a little die crack right in here.
Well, it's got a split at the bottom.
Light split. A line down the left of the center. And a little horn over here at 5 o'clock.
See a split up top too.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I guess since I'm not showing on camera anyway, I can bring up my browser and see what I can do to help.
There you go.
It's really hard not having that straight on photo.
I looked through 86 years, Chuck, and I can't find a match.
Did I keep you occupied?
You did. I like it. I like exercising my brain.
That's the point. Just keep you occupied.
There we go. Okay, I'm sure it's out there. If not, it will be.
Out there somewhere.
All right, I've got the next one.
Coin number 3. What does he think it is?
It's number 21.
The DDO, I've not been able to attribute yet. I was hoping the panel could help.
So, Chuck, you're saying the RPM is 21?
I believe so.
Well, good job, Paul. You hit it right on the head. Is that another doubled eyelid?
It's a 63D.
Yep.
Oh, there you're doubling right there.
There we go. Below the L.
Definitely a double die.
Was this class 5 from like a pivot at K3? Is that what this would be?
No, a lot of people, I mean, there's disagreement as to exactly what the different listings would be, but this I would call a class 8, but it could be a class 5, which would make this one most likely the Kaneka DDO number 6. It'd be Kaneka DDO number 6.
6 doesn't have anything on the eye.
Neither does this one.
But I thought he showed it. I thought he showed an eye.
Yeah, but that was I don't see anything there. The zoomed out picture almost made me think there was something there.
Okay.
I think it would just be a light blemish. I've got number 6 showing.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's hard to get over to number 6. There it is. Konica number 6 does not have a double eyelid. We could also confirm or help confirm with the mint mark position. And they've got this bit right under the L. And now it's just hold them up side by side, and is it a match?
Yeah, where's the other one?
Oh,
I just want to see mint mark.
oh. You said mint mark?
Check your mint mark position. That looks pretty darn good for number 6. Got the right tilt to it.
Well, hey, it looks like 2 out of the 3 were new discoveries.
Can we go back to the picture of the L on that one? Okay. That's going to be Copper Coins DDO. It's 1DO number 3. you've got a doubled eyelid and the bar L on 1D003. And this one happens to be an
Is
earlier.
that-
It happens
is
to be an
that-
earlier die state, but it's the same die. Can I see a picture of the date again? Yeah, that's number 3. Coppercoin's number 3, which I don't think is. I'm not sure whether it's listed anywhere else, but
Yeah, they don't have a cross reference on Konica. Is it a match for 6 on
I don't think so.
Variety Vista?
No, I think the mint mark on Variety Vista number 6 is a little further to the left than the piece we're looking at.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Your mint mark is a little bit west of number 6.
Because number 5 on Variety Vista has a double eye. Those two don't match.
Yeah, but on that one, you're completely missing the doubling on the L.
On 5? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing on that.
You'd be looking primarily for the doubling on the L, and it matches number 6 more closely than anything else. Yet,
Nothing on that.
The mint marks a hair off, and there's no double eyelid on Konica's version.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that matches it's the Coppercoins die 3, and I don't have any cross references noted for it.
Yeah, I don't see anything on it.
Somebody was asking if it was too late to submit any pictures. We didn't really set a time tonight, did we?
Usually cut it off at, what was it, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central?
Yep. It's about right.
Still got about 20 minutes.
24 minutes.
Is there a die crack on the reverse on the lower column 12?
I don't have a reverse
No
pick.
reverse shots.
Oh, never mind.
Got to give us reverse images, folks.
Yep, there's information we can pull off these coins where we've got a full shot of the front and back that you might not think to include.
Y'all want to move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we knocked that one out of the park.
And we're moving on up.
Okay, I'm going to leave this on Mantic for just a bit because I got to take a break.
Okay, bye. Levels of Madness.
Anybody want to read?
Yeah, I'll read it. Level of Madness. FYI, just sharing a new DDR on the 2018 P America the Beautiful quarter block island. The doubled die is in the usual area, center mass on the reverse. Even though this is a fairly new coin, I am sure there are doubled dies on older coins that have yet to be discovered. Case in point, about 3 months ago, I had Discovery DDR listed on Variety Vista as 1969S DDR004. So it may prove beneficial to search all of a coin, even though there are no listed double dies for that particular year.
I tell people that all the time. They're wanting a list of things to look for. So you don't need a list of things to look for. Look for anything that's out of the ordinary.
Yep. Look for everything. The key is to learn about each of the classes of doubled dies, where the most common areas are for each of those classes of doubled dies, and then you can learn to recognize things that aren't on any list anywhere. That's when you really got it down pat. That's when you can find these new ones that no one else found before and get credit for it.
And to sort your coins by date and mint mark and go through them one date at a time. That helps you compare the design on one coin to the next with them being apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Because if you compare 1968 Lincolns to 1969 Lincolns, you're going to have completely different designs to deal with.
Man, somebody's hammering that keyboard. Boom.
That would be Shay.
That would be me.
Yeah, Shay's the only one of us that types at 160 words a minute.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like when I hammer my keyboard.
Oh, I hunt and peck. I am
That's me typing.
no good.
I actually passed a typing test at 70 words a minute one time, and I don't type. I'm just really fast with 6 fingers.
I can type a whole lot of words per minute, but the spelling accuracy declines.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a nice little double die, and this is the stuff you need to look for. Is there a full image picture of this?
A what?
Like the full coin image?
The full coin image, yeah. There's the front and the reverse.
So one thing to note, that double die is almost exactly in the center of the coin. That's where you're going to find a lot of these on the newer coins.
And they're class 9.
Yes. And who coined that phrase, Mr. Daughtrey?
That would be me. They're created in the single squeeze hubbing process, whereby the die is not set completely flush when the hub starts to press the design into the die. And because of its conical shape, when it does snap into place, only the center of the design is doubled.
Now, Chuck, serious question, but are there other classes of doubling that can appear on a single squeezed?
Class 8.
Not to my knowledge.
Class 8, right?
No. Class 8 is what Kaneka's calling a lot of these, but I don't think so.
Well, that's what they say.
Well, that's because Class 8 requires multiple hubbing, as do all the other classes. They require multiple hubbing. Class 9 is the only one that can be done in a single squeeze.
Well, what are the classes of the, let's say, I always bring this one up, but 2014 DDO number 3.
That was a multiple hub die. Yeah, I know. It was supposed to be a single squeeze, but it wasn't.
It was supposed to be, but it wasn't. So everything we've read is wrong.
Well, sometimes when you make an action with a machine and it doesn't do exactly what it's supposed to do, you tend to push buttons until the action is repeated the way you want it to be. And if you go in to hub a die and it doesn't hub properly, well, what are you going to do? You're going to back it out and try to hub it again. That's multiple hubbing. Even though your machine is designed to do single squeeze hubbing, that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to work that way.
Who wants to read?
From Art Ring, hey coin friends, just showing my die gouge I named Stinger. Looks like a heavy push mechanical doubling with heavy polishing as the MD is beveled and not flat shelf-like, like my other massive 68D MD sets. Also, part of the code on the bottom is missing.
That's actually pretty cool.
Stinger.
Yep. Now you see the date and the mint mark both have the same issue at the top where it's been flattened out, it's been squished flat. That's your mechanical doubling or machine doubling.
I am not of the opinion, like some, that, never mind. I'm not even going to get into it because it's going to make, I've been having a discussion about this. There seems to be a new something that I never heard of until recently, that there is a premium on these now.
There can be.
On MD, I wouldn't pay a premium for it.
I wouldn't either, but some people do, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a matter of what you want to pay for something.
Honestly, this one here is pretty cool. If I came across this one in a roll, I would definitely keep it.
Well,
now,
I would keep it.
Knowing what I know about MD and how common it actually really is, I sure as heck wouldn't pay any premium for it. But obviously, there are people out there doing it. I mean, there are coins, call it right or wrong. There are plenty of people that sell machine doubled coins on eBay. Some of them do it the right way and they call it what it is. Others try to pass it off as a true doubled die, but regardless, they are selling and people are buying them. So, whether or not we think there should be a market for them, there is.
That's why I have no comment.
I mean,
Well,
knowledge
we can't possibly know what people think of stuff, and we can't possibly discuss it if it's not brought up.
Yeah.
So, thank you. It has to be brought up for people to understand. I personally do not subscribe to the idea of premium values for things that are, it is unknown how common or how scarce they are. And we have found through multiple years of studying and research that machine doubling is rather common in some years and possibly less common in other years. You're going to find a lot of it in 56, 57, 58. You're going to find a lot of it in 68, 69, 70 on Lincoln Cents. That's not to say that if you find one that's really strong in 1979 that it is worth money or isn't. It's just it depends on what a person collecting them wants to pay for them. There's not going to be any price guide value on them because none of the price guides are structured to deal with the intricacies of person-to-person dealing. They share an overall market sense, and the overall market sense in price guides with regard to machine doubling is that it's too common to warrant a premium value.
Yes.
As a subject. But one coin to the next coin, one seller to the next seller, you may have premium value. I wouldn't pay it. Ken wouldn't pay it. Somebody else might. That's all I got to say about that.
My biggest problem is that you get on a slippery slope with new collectors. When you start labeling these as anything other than machine doubling damage, you get, it's a slippery slope. You know, when we're hammering it into them that it's not a true double die, but then they see people selling them and getting money for them, it gets tricky.
You know, I don't think there's anything we can do about that. I think all we can do is hope that if they are truly in it for the hobby and they decide to stay in it long enough and they decide to go through rolls and rolls of coins, like these that I purchased from Chuck Daughtrey's show, they will then realize on their own that it is common. Because, I mean, how many machine doubled coins have you guys found? I go through boxes and boxes of cents. I've gone through boxes of nickels and half dollars, and you know, you start to learn the ins and outs of this stuff. I mean, you go through nickels and half dollars, you're going to realize that die deterioration is extremely common. Nickels are crazy. I mean, it must be a super hard alloy, but the die deterioration on nickels is just crazy, and it makes it hard to find stuff. You know, you just start to learn these things, and sometimes this stuff only comes with personal experience. You know,
well, I have a theory of, and I could be completely off base here, why all of a sudden after all these years, all these educators, all these books telling everybody machine doubling damage is worthless doubling. It is not true doubling. All of a sudden now it has become collectible and people are starting to sell them and starting to make money on them. Is it because it's another way for people to make money? And what other type of damage are we going to see next? Having a premium.
I just think there's so many aspects of it. It's a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit of people trying to capitalize on something. You know, stuff that I didn't think had value. I mean, Ken, you remember that large lot of stuff that I sold, right?
Oh, geez.
I literally called it junk because to me it is junk, but it was minor die cracks and machine doubling, and some of it was even damaged stuff that somebody must have pulled out of circulation. But it was all part of a large collection that an old man accumulated for years. I actually called it junk when I sold it, and it went so much higher than I ever thought it was going to go. I mean, like it or not, there's people that have interest in that stuff. So And I don't. And to each their own. Whatever they want to collect, go for it. At the end of the day, it's up to us to be informed consumers and buy what we feel is first of all, if you're collecting it because you like it, fine, that's great. If you're going to buy it as an investment, that's a different story. And
if you're going to resell it, you're going to have a hard time a lot of times.
But that coin that was just shown, everybody was like, oh, that's a really great example. I have literally seen 20 of those in the last week. Exactly the same, with the exact same extreme machine doubling. I see it all the time.
Did it have that killer die gouge in it though too?
No, it didn't have the die gouge in it.
The die gouge I like.
It didn't have the die gouge in it.
That's what added the interest to me. But it's still
But you can have a really great off center with super extreme MD.
Right.
It's not the MD that made that coin cool or anything. People looked, I think a lot of people probably looked beyond that die gouge and were like, ooh, look at that,
And I still think
it's so extreme. That date in particular, I have seen that I've seen it numerous times in the past week. That date.
I mean, I have a couple that I've kept. I have a 1984 where the entire bust of Lincoln is machine doubled, very extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And it is neat looking. It really is. But, once again, would I pay anything for it? I mean, I might pay $1 for it, which,
just to have it as an example.
But if you really think about it, that's not bad. You're paying 100 times face value. It's more than I pay for.
I've told you, I have damaged coins. I have MD. I have die deterioration. I have an album that I stick those coins in strictly for educational purposes, so that I can have an example. Okay, Blinky, you must be opening something.
I literally have mine in a garbage can.
Oh my gosh, Chris, I got one of those.
Did you?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, and I keep it too. I whatever. I love finding damaged coins in rolls that were purposely damaged. I have Indian heads, I have Wheaties, I have some Canadians that people filed the edges on them, did weird things, carved stars in them, whatever they did. I think it's cool. I mean, it's like somebody posted something the other day. It was a dollar bill. Oh, it was one of those walls like where you walk into a restaurant and everybody gives those personalized dollar bills and they tape it up to the wall. I think it's cool. You're taking something that's otherwise, not really worth anything, and you're adding a personal touch to it. It reminds me of trench art, and a couple of people probably saw the comments I made about that. It's just really cool. Is it valuable? No, it's not, but it's neat and it has a personal touch to it. I save all that stuff. And you do, hundreds of rolls of coins, you're going to come across that stuff. And once you start building a collection of that stuff, it just looks so cool. Do I ever expect that any of it's going to be worth any money? No. But that's not why I'm collecting it. I'm collecting it because I like it. So I guess it all matters why you're collecting it, really. I don't know why you're accumulating things.
I just think that as I guess I'll call myself an educator. That's what I hope to be. I think it's just important that it, we're clear on what it is. If they want to buy it, that's up to them. I just don't want people to be confused. It's already confusing enough for people that just start out looking for, varieties, the difference between MD and die deterioration and hub doubling, it's already confusing enough. But then when we start telling them, well, that MD's, not worth anything, but that MD over there, that, you can get a few bucks from that.
Well, I mean, it's, you're an educator, and Ken, and I think everybody on the panel is, but I think that having examples of all those errors is great because you can teach now, right? So.
Sorry, I had to show that my daughter-in-law came home the other day with one of those to put my pins in, to keep my pins organized for me. And I'm like, oh my God, where did you get that? I'm so excited. It's the little things in life. It doesn't take much.
Corn Junkie asked a good question: is how many types of indie are there? Who knows? I mean, it's
There's
a
doubling, strike
category.
doubling, ejection doubling.
Generally 4.
It's
Chuck's actually Chuck's actually counting in his head right now.
Yep.
It's,
There's generally 4.
strike, ejection, and
Push.
I
What'd
said
you say?
push. I said push, strike doubling, ejection doubling, and
What was the first one you said?
I said push.
Push.
What the heck is
Push
a push doubling?
Push doubling.
What is
I
that?
think push doubling is basically your like what we saw on the coin that Art just showed. I think that's what they are calling push doubling.
Ejection doubling is like when you see it like in the middle of the letter or the number of the device, that a lot of people think that especially when you get glare on it, it'll show that. Push, strike, ejection, and what's the other one, Chuck?
Okay, I've never heard of a push doubling. I've never heard of anything called push doubling.
It's listed in error rep.
Mm-hmm.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I'm familiar with is called die chatter. And die chatter is when the die bounces on the coin and causes a doubling that takes away from the overall width of the design itself. Then you have ejection doubling, which is what happens after the die kisses the coin and it starts to lift back up. The coin starts to eject prior to the die coming completely loose from the coin. What that does is it creates like an ice cream scoop scooping up ice cream. It scoops it up, and you can see close to the center of the letters, you can actually see a ridge. And
Push doubling is slide doubling, Chuck. That's the same thing as slide doubling. Have you heard
What?
that? Slide doubling?
no,
I think it's what you're describing.
that's ejection doubling that I was just describing.
Before that, making
Before
the
that,
devices look
die chatter?
Yeah.
Flat field strike doubling is the only thing I've ever heard it called other than die chatter or strike doubling.
I'll share my screen.
That's two. You've got the die chatter, the eject doubling, and then the third one is double struck, where a coin is actually struck twice, and that is a very clean strike that is very slightly off center of the other strike. And what it will do is it will nearly completely flatten the field. But what you will see that makes it so is that you have the design actually on the doubling. So if you've got, let's say you've got a little die dot or something right next to a letter, when you have that flat field strike doubling and it strikes right next to where it had struck before, you'll see that die dot again. You'll see it repeated, because basically what you've got is when you talk about die chatter, you're talking about something that's just a real quick bounce. It's like a loose die.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do eject doubling, it's kind of like this. Before the die has a chance to lift back up, the coin is ejected. And so it scoots the design or push or whatever you want to call it. And then the double struck happens when you come back up and the coin moves a little bit and it strikes back down again. And what you end up with is part of the design of the field right next to the area that is quote unquote doubled shows up on the quote unquote doubled area, shows on the step. And then the fourth kind is a braided die doubling or die wear doubling, which is like what happens on the 1955, where near the edge of the coin, you have doubling that occurs as a result of die wear. And those are your four kinds of machine doubling that I know of.
Christopher, is that like the one you have?
Absolutely. Yep. And I will keep those all day long when I find them. Yeah, that's a really extreme one.
Those are double struck.
Okay.
That's not just machine doubling. Those are double struck coins. They're in color double struck coins. The coin shifts or moves slightly and gets struck again, and everything on the coin is doubled. So people call that machine doubling. I disagree completely.
The weird thing is, though, it only affects the bust.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it's the highest relief area of the coin. It's the area that you're going to see best. The rest of the coin is generally, the first design is obliterated by the second strike.
Something small like the raised outside letters would be sharp and crisp.
Yeah, but the whole idea that a double struck coin is machine doubling until it's off by a certain amount and then it's double struck and it's a real error. Come on. Really? As far as I'm concerned, if a coin's double struck, it's double struck. It could be double struck enough to be visible and really have some premium, or it could just be double struck enough that you can see it under a, see, there's a double struck right there. That one where the CA is doubled.
That moved all over the place.
That's a double struck, but that's a double struck with more displacement than the other. That's double struck right there too. That's flat field double struck. That's what I'm talking about. When you've got the coin completely, the die completely lifts off the coin moves and the die hits it again. I don't know about their impact doubling. I don't know about that one.
That's where it bounces. That's where the coin bounces and strikes the die. It's been struck, the dies have lifted away, and the planchet, or the now already struck coin, hits the die. So it's not the die striking the coin; it's the coin striking the die, and it's you find it on a Sacagaweas.
Mm-hmm.
Must be something really funny with Sacagaweas going on then, because I've never heard of a coin flying toward a die at 39,000 pounds of force.
That's what the description is saying over there on Error Wrap.
You'd have to shoot the damn thing like a shotgun. I don't think that would work.
So anyway, people, this is
Leonard, progressive indirect die transfer does not count as machine doubling. It's just a part of die wear.
and it's not a die clash.
It's not, well, it's not a clash, but it's not considered machine doubling either.
Right. I'm just saying, I just said that because a lot of people think it's a clash.
And what it comes down to, if you want to keep it, go right ahead and keep it.
You collect whatever you want to collect. You're asking us whether it's worth keeping. That's all up to you. It's all up to whether or not it fits in your collection.
Mine was just my opinion. That's all.
Yeah. If it doesn't fit in your collection, don't keep it. Doesn't matter what it is. If it fits your collection, then keep it. But don't. If you're asking if something is worth keeping, expect to get a market answer. And the market answer is often going to be no. Because there are a lot of things in the general market that are not worth keeping, including minor repunch mint marks. The market doesn't accept minor repunch mint marks as anything with premium value. So you have to go to the specialist market like ours. And in our specialist market, I say, yes, they are. But I know to the generalist collector, they're definitely not. You're a person who puts together Whitman folders of pennies. You're not going to care if it's a minor repunch mint mark.
Right. You're just looking at the.
But we have to sort things out and compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. And if you collect apples, you're not going to care about oranges. But somebody who collects all fruit are going to care about both.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have people who are only going to collect oranges, and they're going to care about the oranges. They're not going to care about your apples. And you don't get offended by it. You just move on. It's everybody collects what they want to collect.
Yeah, varieties, and I talked about that a little bit in my coin seminar stream. You know, there are many, many different types of coin collectors. There are people that, you know, don't collect varieties and errors at all. That, you know, they just want a whole lot, and whatever it is, they just want it. There are some that just collect typeset. There's, you know, the varieties and errors is like a medical specialty. It's like you can be a doctor, but then after you finish medical school, you go on and become a surgeon. every doctor is not a surgeon. There's specialties. Varieties and errors is a specialty, just like in the medical field.
I want to be a lobotomist.
You need a lobotomy.
How about a phlebotomist?
I thought you already had one.
I would just add that he's already created a story for this coin. It's a stinger, right? So that's a story that you can tell your kids, and you can show them the coin, and it's just cool to look at, right?
That is very cool.
So, I mean, things like that. I use interest as a factor, right? Interest factor of. It may not be the interest factor from the whole community, or like, maybe it's an interest factor for a specialist, but hey, interest factor, you've created a story about it. Keep it.
Well, yeah, Dr. Pimple Popper even names the cyst on the show. So come on now.
Some people watch that with high interest, and other people think it's totally disgusting and turn the
I
TV.
like it. I can't get Ken to watch it, but I like it.
No. Just no.
I send them to him every once in a while.
The people who won't watch it can't understand. They can't understand why a network is broadcasting it. They can't understand why people pay for advertising during shows like that. But you know what? It happens.
Listen, there's a foot guy that comes on immediately after Dr. Pimple Popper. I won't watch him.
Exactly. So you've got different strokes for different folks. You've got networks that understand that not everyone collects apples and not everyone collects oranges. So they have shows for both. And that's why I think it's highly important that people understand the difference between an error and a die variety. I really don't care about errors, but I do care about die varieties. Errors come and go. I look at them. I'm kind of interested in them. I will sell them, but I don't collect them. Die varieties, I would consider myself a collector of die varieties.
I like both.
And a lot of people like both, and I'm happy for them. But the idea of mixing the terminology is what gets under my skin.
Yes.
Because if you're going to call an error a die variety and a die variety an error, you're going to confuse a lot of people who are never going to understand the difference between them. And what that clear-cut difference is makes a big difference in my business and a lot of other people's business.
And that's how I feel about MD and hub doubling.
You got Fred Weinberg out in California, wonderful guy, great dealer. He doesn't deal in die varieties. He doesn't care about them. He deals in errors. I deal in die varieties. I don't generally deal in errors, and I don't really care about them. Learn the difference so you'll know who to go to.
However, I have bought a couple nice errors off of you, Chuck.
Frank brought up a good point there.
I do still errors.
There's a lot of people out there collecting those low ball sets now, right?
Yes.
What's the lowest grade you can get on a coin? P01?
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Poop?
Well, some people call them poor. Some people call them basal state.
Yeah, right?
Actually, a basal state coin is different from a poor coin because a poor coin can be identified as to date and mint mark. A basal state coin cannot necessarily be identified as to date and mint mark. You can basically see a ghost of Lincoln on it and know it's a Lincoln cent, and that's it. That's a basal state.
I get some of those.
Usually get the composition too.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who are trying to get those the lowest grade possible. And they're going to they're digging through those coins that have no date, and they're looking for one that's just barely visible enough, and they send it off to get it graded as a P01, and they're making this registry set. It's crazy. I would never do that, but there are people doing it. I've seen a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and then I can almost guarantee you just about every basal state coin you're going to run into, every cent anyway, is either a 1914D, a 1909S VDB, or it's a 1931S. You just have to figure out which one it is.
Hey, but it creates interest. Okay, anything that you can do, like achievement within the hobby to further promote it, and get more interest is great. At that level of achievement, it's not expensive. Getting the coins graded at that rate, yeah, that's expensive. And I don't know if I would do it because I would do it to preserve a coin. At that state, is it worth preserving? And I don't know. For me, I don't think so. I don't think I would have interest in preserving a basal state coin.
You ever hear the term more money than brains?
No,
That's what I would call that. But hey, to each their own, man.
Coin Dragon Basil, BASAL. The BASIL tastes good in spaghetti.
Yeah.
See, Chuck, I got this one from you.
Aromatic herb.
An aromatic herb. Yes, I remember that coin.
Yes, I got 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Who's sending in notes about me now? There's people passing notes about me.
uh-oh.
Better read it.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Love the show. I've talked to Chuck about this coin the other night. The coin was found in a BU roll. It's definitely got some issues. Could I get everyone's opinion? Would it be worth sending to NGC for conservation when I grade it? It has some zinc rot, ugly toning, and a rim ding. It's crazy, nice variety. What do you think? 95D DDO.
Yep. I am lucky enough to own a BU example of this coin.
Yeah, you got some zinc rot. The problem with zinc rot, it's going to continue. There is no method of preservation that's going to save it unless you actually encase it in some type of membrane that is oxygen impermeable.
Oh.
So that rot is going to just get worse over time.
Well, here's the questions you have to ask yourself with regard to this coin. The first question I would ask myself if I found this coin, is this something that I would want to keep? If it's something I would want to keep and it's a coin that I think is worth keeping to me, it doesn't make any difference to me what the cost of having it conserved is. I would do it. And that's simply because if you don't conserve this coin, it is going to rot to dust.
Yeah.
Now, the other question I would ask is this a coin that I would plan on selling and what's it worth? Well, what it's worth is a very subjective term simply because with dye varieties, you really have a niche market where there are not a whole lot of people interested in purchasing the coins. Now, you have to find out how many of these exist in BU condition like Chris's, and is it going to be a sellable item in less than BU condition with problems? In this particular case, I would say yes, but a BU coin is going to sell for what, Chris? Probably $250, $350?
I think, the price guide was putting them at 1,000. And I think Delenia sold a few of them, and I think she got around 450 at the highest amount. And they were ones that she had sent off and had graded. So,
what were the grades on them?
When she finally got them back,
65 on most of them.
65.
she have a lot of those stolen.
She had a package that there was a bunch of thievery going on in the Georgia area with numismatic related items through the postal service, and she unfortunately she lost at least one package that I know of, and she had some really high dollar coins in that package, and there was 4 or 5 of them I think of the 95D that were lost.
Didn't Art Ring find those for her?
Yeah,
Ring was helping her go get that straightened out. I don't know. I don't remember what the result was.
I think she got them back.
yeah. He found them
on eBay.
You know what? That's right. I do remember some of the stuff being found on eBay now. You're right.
They were listed on eBay.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
And, you recognize them by the certification number.
That was fantastic.
So
Okay, I'm going to take
the
a break.
coin in question, we're talking about a coin that in BU is worth $400-ish. In an AU condition, which this coin is, that has problems, we'd probably be talking to somewhere more like $150, $200 maximum. At $150, $200 maximum, if it's a coin that you're going to be trying to sell, you're going to spend probably $40 just getting it conserved and holdered in an NCS holder. Once you've done that, you have to run the coin, you have to take your fees, whatever else you're going to have to do to get that coin to sell. You're going to end up with, I don't know, maybe $40, $50 profit at the end of the whole thing. And that's an if, a maybe. And that's also a lot of work and a lot of time put into getting it to that point. So would I bother? No. If I was going to sell the coin, I would probably just put it up someplace for $100 and see what happens, and just be done with it. Especially if I found the coin. If I found the coin, that's $100 profit. And you don't go through all of the having to send it off to somebody and having them put it in a holder and conserving it and all that stuff and all the expenses and registered mail and insurance and stuff like that it would cost to get the stuff back and forth. I would just put it up for sale. Or keep it. If it's a coin that you want to keep, I'd get it conserved at whatever cost.
But hydrozincite, it's going to keep going on as long as there's oxygen available.
Absolutely.
And even in a holder, you've got oxygen in those spaces around the coin, and it's going to progress.
And to add to that, none of the grading services have ever said, nor do any of them ever guarantee, that their holders are airtight or watertight. That's just an assumption made by the market itself. But NGC, PCGS, ANAX, ICG, they don't guarantee that any of their holders are airtight or watertight. So don't assume that you have an airtight holder.
I think we should ask Trey if he ever experimented or decided to experiment.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
True. $50. Drop it in a bucket of salt water.
Speaking of Trey, he has sent in a peace dollar.
An old Annex piece dollar. There she is.
She is pretty.
Well, it looks like above a 64 to me. I don't know. Call me crazy.
There's a gash on the jawbone there that may be
Let's hold it around.
Does that go into the field out in front of the mouth? Am I seeing that?
I'm not.
No. And if it's just on the cheek there, and it's just it looks like a little scratch on the cheek, maybe a staple scratch. I'd probably say it's still gradable at above a 64.
Look at that beautiful mint luster on that.
Yeah, look how clean the fields are. Of course, that could be the quality of the image too, because I can see it's a little pixelated around the edges.
The thing is, there are collectors out there for these older slabs as well.
True. Getting an older slab is kind of like getting an original banker wrapped roll, though.
Oh.
They're really hard to keep shut.
Very nice, Trey.
Yep, that's a nice coin. That's actually the peace dollar is my favorite U.S. coin design, and I think they're so underappreciated. I love that coin. Beautiful coin. Big, silver. What more could you ask for?
More.
You're right.
A lot more.
Yep.
All of them. Mm-hmm. Well, you had another one, Mantic?
I do.
From Just a Guess. Hi, guys. This is my first time I've sent you something. I've had this penny for months. As soon as I received it, I put it in a sealed baggie. I've always been curious as to if this is an error or just a damaged penny. I try to send enough angled pictures of it. I'm fairly new to the coin collecting world. I would greatly appreciate your knowledge on this one. Thanks for all in advance. And also, I'm so glad I found so many intelligent people that are well-versed in this field. We do this every week, baby. You're all awesome. Really good job for all you do, and have a good night.
Yeah, he's been commenting quite a bit in the chat there. He's had nothing but nice things to say, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
But we can't allow him to go by Just a Guest anymore. We have to know a name.
Yeah.
Guest doesn't work.
Take your coat off and stay a while.
That's right.
Oh, boy, that's ugly.
That appears to be a rotted coin.
Yep.
Zinc rot. It comes in different forms, and it's really hard to predict exactly what color it's going to turn out being. This looks almost like carbon, though.
Yeah, black, white, blue, gray.
Green.
And man, some of the coins it comes out on, it's just nasty. I've even had coins. I went through a bunch of 1983D rolls last week, and 1983D is a really bad date for this, and I should have gone through the rolls before I decided to sell them. But I sold them, and then I went through them and had to make reparations. But I went through the coins, and there were coins actually stuck together. They were so badly corroded. And these were in BU rolls.
It doesn't take much, just a little nick in the copper plating and add a little bit of moisture to that. And next thing you know, you have the zinc rot train is a rolling. And once it starts rolling, it's impossible to stop.
Well, and usually it'll turn a light gray or whitish color. And I tell people, I mean, you ever been to the beach and had that white cream that you put on your nose to keep your nose from getting sunburned? That's called zinc oxide. It's exactly what happens to zinc when it is exposed to the oxygen in the air.
Yeah, when I go to the beach, I just rub pennies on my face.
Well, that's why people look at you the way they do.
That's why they take the cameras out of Walmart. This coin is damaged and gonna rot, and I'd say it's not a keeper.
No,
Yeah, definitely.
Keep it away from your other coins. That's a leper. Make your own leper colony with that.
Now, wait a minute. Leprosy is not that kind of a disease.
Sorry.
It has the flu. Cover it now.
By the way, the lepers had their own coins.
Yes, they did. What are you doing?
Pac-Man, where's the little ghosties at?
Oh man, it's a Pac-Man penny.
Hey,
Waka,
put that on.
waka, waka.
Put that on Etsy.
I was just gonna say, put that on Etsy, man. They're getting 10 grand for those on Etsy.
Yeah. All right.
Don't bash my Etsy.
Ooh.
Draw a ghost. Draw a ghost.
There you go. Sorry. Okay. Enough fun. All right.
The black ghost of Pac-Man past.
Wow.
Can I just say something real quick to him?
To who?
We really appreciate you submitting that coin to us.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I guarantee you that because you showed us that coin, somebody else has looked at that and gone, oh, okay, that's what that is.
Somebody who doesn't have the cojones to face us,
Somebody learned from that. So
they'll learn.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, very much. I know we play around with Pac-Man and stuff.
do play
It's a
around.
good example of zinc rot. And thank you.
We make learning fun.
Yeah. When we say something about your coin, it has nothing to do with you or your question or anything. It's just we want to have fun with it. So
We make being a nerd sound almost normal.
That's right. If you fit in around here, so much the better.
it wasn't the copper that was it wasn't just the copper that was affected though, Paul. It actually was the zinc inside.
As the zinc is oxidized,
Then it goes through a copper bath and just gets, I mean, it's super thin, the layer that it gets.
as the zinc is oxidized, it becomes hydrozincite as it's bonding with calcium carbonates. And what happens is it expands. So even if the copper is not affected, the hydrozincite will simply expand and push it out of the way. And then normal abrasion through circulation will scrape off that copper.
What are you grabbing?
Spider.
Right over my head.
What?
You're right over my head.
What went over your head?
Whatever that chemical explanation.
Oh, hydrozinc oxide or whatever. I don't know.
Zinc rod.
Zinc rot.
Zinc
What about the
expands.
hydroxenominate?
Hydrominate.
Some big words.
Yeah, I'll dumb it down.
You watch how you use those 25-cent words with me.
Well, some people, blues, have trouble saying deterioration.
Okay, Robert S. is here and his daughter's watching, so tone it down. Daughter found this metal detecting and won't clean it without expert advice. So leaving it in your hands. She's watching.
Good girl.
Smart. Do not listen to your dad.
You see the date, that's good enough.
It's 1864.
Don't touch it.
It looks like it could be an 1864L.
Yep. You got to look at the shape of the point of the bust.
Right, which I believe that is a pointed bust.
Good girl.
So here's my take on these. I'm also a metal detectorist, and you're going to undoubtedly dig stuff like this up. My opinion is the damage has already been done, and I'm not sure you're going to cause much more harm to this coin unless you use a Brillo pad and scrub the heck out of it. But you know, I would take a Q-tip, maybe a pencil eraser, maybe, to try to get some of the verdigris or whatever you want to call it off of the surface of the coin. But at the end of the day, even if you get it off, everywhere you see those green specks, there's going to be a pit left behind. It's an environmentally damaged coin, and I just don't think you're going to cause much more damage to it by cleaning it.
Get yourself some pure mineral oil, put it into a container that can be sealed off with a lid, an airtight container. Drop the coin into the mineral oil, put the lid on the container, put it on a shelf, and forget about it for about 6 months.
Don't they
Mineral oil.
Change the mineral oil every once in a while, Chuck?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can, but it won't change much of anything except make the liquid it's sitting in a little bit clearer. But mineral oil doesn't rot like olive oil does. Olive oil is something that a lot of ancient coin people like to use on ancient coins. I don't recommend it at all because it is a vegetable-based oil, and vegetables rot. Mineral oil is not based.
The one and only Roman coin I had, I did that with the olive oil.
Yeah.
When I finally took it out, it disintegrated.
The coin did?
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
It literally
is a stable compound. Vegetable oil, olive oil, these are organic compounds. They're a lot more complex, whereas mineral oil will typically have only 2 or 3 different molecules involved. Excuse me. The olive oil, dude, you got aromatic flavors, you've got ketones, you get lipids. Avoid the vegetable product and stick with the mineral oil to use as a solvent for cleaning a coin like that. But you're not going to reduce the value. It's already pretty much at lowest value. What you can do by treating it with mineral oil is help to identify it better.
Well, what I was going to say is when you take it out after a few months of a bath, you can very lightly brush it with a very soft toothbrush and get most of the dirt and grime off of it, because what is going to lift off the coin is going to lift off with the mineral oil. And you lift off a layer of that stuff and you put it back in the mineral oil for a longer soak, and then you take it back out again and you brush it very lightly, and you'll take more of that stuff off. You're never going to get it all off, and the verdigris will never come off. Verdigris is it's a Latin word meaning green gray, and that's what verdigris is. And verdigris is actually a chemical reaction that I'm sure Ken can explain. Mr. Professor Peavy up there talking about his lips and keys, and you could take. So there's got to be something that'll get most of the green off of it, because that green is probably actually active. In other words, it's still spreading. And so it will eventually come off with some other chemical, but the mineral oil will take care of the grime. It'll take care of the layers of dirt and grime that are on there without harming the coin.
Now, another way to treat it without actually using a solvent or a compound on it is put it in a plastic bag, right? Get out all the air, just as much as you possibly can, and stick it in the freezer for a day. What's going to happen is tomorrow you're going to take it out, it's going to warm up, and it's that thermal expansion and contraction which will take off some, clumps of debris or grime or dirt. It won't do much for the corroding copper, but if there's stuff on it, the doo-doo on it, it'll help to break some of it off just from expanding and contracting.
I heard that can actually work with the black carbon spots on BU copper, so you can freeze it and then dunk it into boiling water, and the fast expansion will actually break that carbon right off the coin.
I wouldn't do the boiling water. You could just leave it on the countertop and it'll warm up in 10 minutes.
Does it pop off?
Frank had a half set with all kinds of doo-doo on the thing, both sides, and he did the freezing, warming cycle for several months, every now and again, and a lot of it came off. It's really looking good. Do you have a picture of that 1806 coin dragon before and after? I'd love to show that off, because it wasn't treated chemically. It was thermal expansion. Hot, cold, hot, cold.
And Cajun Coin Hunter does add a very interesting and useful tip that you do not use baby oil, because baby oil it is mineral oil, but it has a lot of fragrance chemicals and things in it that can affect your coins differently. There is mineral oil that you can pick up at any drugstore. You could actually drink it because that's what it's made for.
It's a stool. So yeah.
And so you use that mineral oil, the mineral oil that you could actually drink if you wanted to. I have never stuck it in my mouth, but I do have mineral oil.
I found another thing, and I remembered this from when one of my metal detecting groups that I'm in, and I couldn't remember the name of it, so I was doing a Google search while you guys were explaining that other stuff. There's a set of 4 pencils. They're called Andre's pencils, ANDRE''S. And these were specifically designed by someone who metal detects and digs old relics up. And I think they're lead. It's a weird combination, but these things seem to do amazing work on ancient coins, bronze coins. So take a look at those and see what you think. Always use your own discretion, though, when doing that stuff to coins.
Andre's pencil.
Yeah, very neat little set.
I'm definitely going to have a set of those within a week.
What's that?
I'm definitely going to have a set of those within a week. Chuck, you going to find them and order them. Hey, there you go.
Fine points. Okay, these are used for pushing off the debris. And this looks like a scraping tool. $18. Now, I don't recommend cleaning coins ever, because the first thing you're going to remove is the numismatic value. Your coin, your Indian cent here, look, it's a peach. If it was in even good identifiable condition with the L in this shape, you're still looking at what, $10-15 probably.
Oh, at least, yeah. I think in good condition those are $50 or $40 or $50.
Yeah. Of course, that'd be a problem-free coin. This has
right,
some,
yeah.
Yeah, but there are people who would love to have an 1864 L.
Could you imagine digging one of those up out of the ground? I mean, awesome, right?
And I've seen guys, there's a lot of YouTube channels where they're restoring ancient coins and they're using those tools and they show the process. And you know, just don't practice on your nice stuff.
You know what kills me with the metal detectors? Is when they find those coins and they take their dirty gloves and they go like this.
Rub their thumb over it.
See a date. Oh God. Ugh. All that dirt is just.
You guys, you got to get a little bit of the collector out of you. I see the both worlds here.
Can't do it.
The coin was in the ground in many cases for over 100 years. I really don't think you're going to
coins come out of the ground pretty darn nice.
Yeah, I mean, silver holds up well.
Nearly as scratched up if they hadn't gone like this. Oh, what's
yeah.
this?
I mean, silver definitely
picture
holds
back up?
Sorry.
Can you bring Shay back into focus? Okay. That
makes my butt cringe a little bit.
I need to see the neck and the extension of the neck over the one. Can we zoom in a little bit to it?
Sure.
Okay.
It's close to the one.
Well, yes. However, what I'm seeing from the images that I'm seeing, the neck will not extend out beyond the left of the one if it's the L. If it is not the L, the neck will extend out beyond the one, and that's what it looks like it's doing here.
Yeah.
You can't see the top of it to tell whether or not you've got a curve or a point. But what I'm looking at appears to be the normal 1864 without the L.
Yep. There's also the 2 different metal compositions for 1864.
True, but this one's a bronze.
Right. Yep.
Because if this was copper nickel, it would be a much more gnarly looking coin. This is definitely a bronze. So there is 1864 bronze, and then there's the 1864 copper nickel, and then the 1864 bronze also has the with L version. and that has a pointed bust front that is much smaller than the rounded bust front. And this one appears to be the rounded bust front.
Cindy's here. We looked at your Zorro coin.
And I do have one comment about that nickel 3 cent with the X or the Z on it. When you run your fingernail across it and it feels like it's what you would say raised, you could also be actually running your fingernail into a groove, and when you come back out of the groove, it feels like the area is raised, and it could be a self-prophesizing fooling of yourself, thinking, "Oh, well, this is raised because I can feel it."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that could be what's going on. Is that your fingernail is actually falling down into the groove, and when you pull it back out of the groove, you feel it. Well, and then you think it's raised because of that. So be careful when you're looking at it. Look at it very closely, because I agree with the others in that this was actually scratched into the coin, and you said it was raised, and I'm kind of just not seeing that.
Okay, well, you can see like that upper part right under the eye, that upper line.
Yeah.
You can see underneath that there's raised metal there. It's that trenching that's raising. It's probably raised on both sides of the scratch. And that's a pretty deep scratch. So I imagine it probably has quite a bit of metal.
And just to tie this coin together with the one we just looked at, there's a reason why the facial features on this coin appear very similar to the facial features on the Indian head cent, which you can't see in this picture. But that's because they were both designed by the same person. The same guy designed both of these coins, Andrew Barton Longacre.
A pretty little bow in her hair.
I'd love to see that portrait you drew of Longacre.
I'd like to be able to share my screen, but I can't do it.
There we go.
I get this.
Well, yeah, it won't do you any good.
Just
Because all you're doing is looking at my fat. What?
Chuck was also designed by Longacre.
I wasn't designed by Longacre. Look at my portrait.
It looks like Roosevelt.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking that
Which one?
FDR.
That's more like this.
Like a young FDR.
Because Theodore Roosevelt was like this. Franklin's more like this.
Put on your spectacles.
So just do a Google search of any designer engraver and look for the artist renditions of the said designer and engraver, and then look at who drew it.
I've got a really funny one for you. If you do a Google search of Frank Gasparo, one of the first images that shows up of Frank Gasparo in a Google search for Frank Gasparo was a little sketch that I did one time, and I shared it in a coin community chat board, and somehow that got shared around enough that Google now picks it up as one of the main images for one of the chief engravers of the United States. How crazy is that?
But you got a lot of them. Your illustrations are in books, and they're all over the
magazines.
Right? Yeah, magazines.
A lot of people use them. Some people actually ask, and no, I don't make any money off of it. There it is. I just saw it very briefly, but I did see it. There it is.
Frank Gasparo, Chuck Daughtrey.
That's a little drawing I did of Frank Gasparo a long time ago. I have no idea how it ended up becoming one of the main images that Google uses in a Google search.
Well, there's only 2 other images available.
Ken, do you realize you actually have a resemblance to him? You have the same haircut. If you took your glasses off, you kind of have the same look.
Frank Gasparo had a really big Italian nose. He's a very Italian-looking guy.
Yeah, that's a garlic sniffing nose right there.
Sure. The interesting thing about Frank Gasparo is he was born in 1909, the same year the Lincoln cent came out. And then he ended up at 50 years old having his design placed on the reverse side of the Lincoln cents.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that is very cool.
Almost like it was meant to be.
Almost.
My gosh, it is Ken. Josh says, is this a double die obverse? It is die cracks, obverse and reverse. Many die chips also, with what appears to be goldish toning. Doubling In God We Trust, and an impression southeast of the bottom part of the hair.
That would be a quarter.
Ouch. It's my butt.
I like them a lot more than $half. A double die obverse.
Hmm.
I'm not seeing any doubling on the coin at all. You'd have to describe to us where we're
In God We Trust, I think they said, didn't they?
There's no doubling going on there.
Nope.
Any of the die cracks, die chips, or clash marks, or any of that kind of stuff that you'd be seeing, that's completely unrelated to the idea of double die. Double die happens when the die is created. Those other anomalies happen to any die that is used in the process of making coins.
Well, there's a die chip in the date of 18 above the spike.
Yeah, I saw it up in the 8.
Okay. He could be talking about reverse. The obverse is the side with Washington on it. The reverse is the side with the trains on it.
Yeah, and you want to look for the DDR right in this area of the spike where the spike hits the mountain.
Right in the center, baby.
Yeah, class 9. Yeah, I don't see anything on the front either. At the bottom of the
Are
hill.
those die chips or a die crack at the bottom of Washington's bust there? I mean, that's a common spot for it, but
Yeah, usually a lot of times they'll have them right across the initials or all the way out. Yeah, that looks like one right there.
Yep, extends from the bust. Probably goes through the U.
I see no doubling though.
Now there was a second. Yeah, there's a second one, but that just looks like damage.
That's the reeded edge of another coin.
Yeah.
What's under the ear?
Uh-oh. Is that a clash?
Could be.
That's what I'm thinking.
Looks like a clash of the spike on the other side.
Maybe.
Huh. How about that? An unintended find.
Yeah. So you got a chip on the other one's reverse, and on this one you might have a clash under the ear.
Okay, guys, send in pictures of all your pocket change. We're going to start roll hunting your stuff.
Well, you know, I don't see a die crack in the hair, but that's a massive double die you've got there.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Guest, thanks for coming. Appreciate the pictures and sending the email. See you next time.
See you, guy. Whatever
See you
you're doing.
later. Next time, come back with your real name.
You won't be a guest anymore. See y'all soon.
Shay, can you put it on me for a second?
Ken.
Ermigers, there's James Barton Longacre.
And I don't know if you can see at the bottom who drew that.
As portrayed by Charles Daughtrey.
You know, that guy's kind of scary looking.
He was.
He kind of reminds me of one of those guys that would be on the portraits where you walk by it and the eyeballs follow you.
To me, he looks like a nice version of Lurch, though. Not the mean version. I tried to give him as much of a little smirky grin as I could to make him look like he's got a little bit of, humor.
That is not a double die. It is Longacre doubling.
You clean that coin, I will haunt you for eternity.
That's right.
Charles Daughtrey. Okay, I'm done.
The guy who wrote that book owns the original to that drawing.
Who's that, Bowers?
No, that one was written by Richard Snow.
This is Snow.
You ready? You ready? What error is this?
That's a doubled.
That's a Longacre doubling.
Something. Get it? Get it?
Yeah.
I gotta get out more.
Oh, you know what? I actually had a dealer get mad at me at a show. We started talking. I was actually buying Civil War tokens off of him, and I started telling him I was into varieties and errors, and he's like, "Oh, I got one for you," and he dug it out. He's like, "What do you think about the doubling on this?" It was an Indian head, it was a nice looking coin, but it was classic Longacre doubling. I told him that, and he actually turned away from me and walked away. He got that mad at me. I then brought up a good reference online on my phone, gave it to him, allowed him to read it and look at the pictures. He still refused to believe it, and yeah, that was about it. But it's a shame.
I would say, unfortunately, better than 50% of all dealers are like that.
Yeah, it's a shame. The guy was really nice, and we were talking about a long-term relationship. He had a bunch of stuff that I was interested in that he did not have at the show, and that one interaction with him just totally changed everything. So there went my mojo. But whatever. I thought I was helping the guy by giving him information, but it didn't work out that way.
Give him the information he's looking for.
Yeah, that's true.
I do that sometimes with dealers when I'm going through their Lincoln Cents and I pull up a 1909S VDB with an added S, or I pull up a fake 1911S or something like that, and I'll pull them to the side and I'll say, you know, may I tell you something about your coin? And they're like, well, what? And I said, well, I've been studying these for quite some time now, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that this one is not real. And they'll say, well, how can you tell? And so I will describe to them everything about how I can tell that their coin's not real. In fact, to the point of going to other dealers that I know and borrowing a coin from them to bring it over so that they can do a one-by-one comparison. And just about every time I win brownie points with them. You just have to watch how you approach it, and also who else is standing nearby. If they have a chance of being embarrassed by what you said, then there's a much better chance that they're not going to accept what you say.
Frank said he has the after pictures. The befores are on his old computer, and they would take a while, but he can send us the after up till this point photos.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put this on Mantic for just a bit.
From Adam C. And that is not Adam Canada Good. Let's get that straight. I will never forget that, Shay. You set me up. Anyway, hey, enroll fine for this week. I looked through mixed B rolls, and this one was in there.
Okay. All right. I have tried over and over to open one of his all of his pictures, but one of them makes my whole thing crash. So let me get you what will load, and I'll leave the other one. I don't think it's necessary to have the other one anyway, but I'm not sure why it's causing my
Isn't this a problem that has come from this very person before?
Yes.
Okay.
For some reason, 1 out of 4 photos he sends turns out to crash photo paint. So I don't know why. All right.
Odd. It's a 1955D Lincoln Cent. That appears to be a repunched mint mark. Well, it appears to be a repunched mint mark.
We're good, Tristan. We're hanging out. We're looking at coins.
We got like 6 people going to the exact same website at the same time, trying to beat each other to diagnosis of the problem.
Not me. I give up.
We're like a bunch of doctors looking at WebMD trying to figure out what's wrong with somebody.
Exactly what it is. It's a perfect analogy. We are diagnosing the coins.
Yeah, it's not listed by Kaneka.
Looks like it's got a little split in the top and that little.
All right, Adam. Enough out of you too, man.
Well, it looks kind of like RPM number 3, but I've seen a lot of RPM number 3, and I just don't see the part in the upper D that I would see on a number 3, but it looks a lot like RPM number 3.
Looks like it had a quick little hit too. What is it, 55D?
Yeah. Its position looks about right for a number 3. But I've seen enough of number 3. I just don't think this one is. It
He's
could be
saying
a
it's the FS 501.
what?
He said it's the FS 501.
501.
Oh yeah, I left that out. It was in the subject line. Would have been nice to start with that, huh? Let me see. I got cherry pickers right here.
503.
No, I don't think it's 503. Do you? No.
No, I mean, is that what he think? Is that what he meant to say?
Doesn't have the top part. Well, that's nice. My issue doesn't have the 501. It only has the 503. I'd have to look up.
Not sure that there actually is a 501.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
I don't have a cherry picker's book available to me at the very moment.
It's not in 6th edition.
Oh, jeez.
Levels of Madness is on Wexler's site. And he says 503. Okay. He says
503. It could be a 503. But
shouldn't there be more up here?
Position's right.
yeah, I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say that's a 503, which is RPM number 3, which is what I described.
If we had more pictures, we might actually see that bit on the top.
Well,
But
Is there a die clash through the N of scent?
Well, that's the picture that crashes photo paint. So
Okay.
let me see. Let me just tell you, because I can open it with different software.
actually, stage C can, I mean,
yeah, that's what I said in the very beginning.
it almost disappears.
When we first got the pictures up, I said it looked like an RPM number 3, which is what this is.
Yeah.
Clash through what?
Through the N and scent.
I'm looking to see if there's a die crack on the forehead. Oh, we don't have any other pictures. Crap. Never mind.
He says it does have the bar through the middle of the D.
Okay, that's what I can't see in this image. What you're looking for is rather profound weakness in the upper part of the N of scent.
Yeah, we can't. Get those.
And let's see, what else do I have on there for this one?
I don't think I would call it weak. Let me see if I can.
You should also have 3 large die gouges coming out of the right-hand side of the E and we. Yeah, it's got it. Yeah, it's got the weakness in the top right. Top right.
Oh, you did get it to come up. Okay.
Now that was the overall reverse image. I think that he just blew it up a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely that one. It's what it is.
You get the die crack on the left of the wheat. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I finally just did a screen capture of the dang thing.
Yep.
All right.
Good deal. Nice find.
I had a BU roll I opened up one time that had like 12 of these in it.
Nice.
And then I discovered it was a cherry picker listed coin. I thought, oh, that's great. How cool.
Nice find, Adam. Thanks for sharing. Can I have it?
Another one from Adam. I just purchased this beauty last week. It's an impaired proof by the spot on the reverse. It looks to be cameo or deep cameo. How bad does that spot by the eagle hurt proofs? How many points do they knock off for that? Thanks. Oh, P.S. Who all got the 2019 S reverse proof?
Oh, shut
Anybody?
up.
Very lucky to admit site crashed very quickly.
Very quickly, like immediately. Immediately.
Look at the frost.
Man, that's pretty. Or handsome.
And
For this one, you have to look in the eye socket area and directly underneath the ear, and in that back hair curl, what looks like a helmet on top of his head, and then the hair curls stick out. There's a deep spot near the back of the head where you have to look for frost at the bottom of all of those deep spots. And if there is indeed frost at the bottom of all of those deep spots, then you have cameo. If it's not there and it's shiny at the bottom of those deep spots, then you have no cameo. That's just the way they grade them. And that spot.
I'm assuming this is not in plastic, so those scratches are indeed on the coin.
Correct.
Okay.
And that spot left of the eagle is probably going to knock off 2 or 3 points on the grade. So what would have been probably a 66 coin would be a 63 or 64.
And inside the eagle, I'm seeing some dark spots that don't look at all frosty.
Yeah, that's one of the places where you lose your frost first, is in that the real fine detail inside the eagle.
Can you zoom back out? I see like straight line scratches or smudges up above the LAR area. I don't know if that's like a fingerprint or what that is, but those
are scratches.
It's a wiping smudge.
Yeah, that's kind of detrimental.
Yeah, somebody probably rubbed it.
What year is that again?
57.
It's a 57? Okay.
You were looking at the eagle?
Yeah, I was thinking of this of 56. It could be a it could be a type 2. But it is. It's a 57.
Nice coin though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to put it in my book.
No, I would not send that in though. That wouldn't be a candidate. I don't know if that's what, I think that's what he might have been asking.
Oh, wow. 5 thumbs down, huh?
No, don't worry about it.
No, it's really only one.
5 views. We'll take it. Yeah, great coin, but it misses the mark.
But you'll notice that if Chuck hosts, we won't get those same 5 thumbs. It's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. Unfortunate.
From Josh M. This has a raised impression on the reverse from the shrubs to the bird. It's raised. The front has a spike off the ear on the obverse. Would this be considered a DDO?
I'm going to guess South Carolina quarter. Or Oklahoma. Nope, California.
California.
But I never get these right.
I know. I don't know them either.
Oh, that's the same coin we saw earlier.
I am not into the state quarters. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
So that clash by the ear would be the very sharp point directly below the bird's tail on the mountain there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
That edge.
Can we see the side of this again?
What, Chuck?
The other side, the obverse.
Oh.
Who sent this in?
Gosh, I just saw it.
That's the exact same image we saw before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same coin. Yep, same coin.
So now we're looking for like an ear mark on the opposite side.
But this is the one that we saw as the obverse of Utah coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought this was in Utah, but it's not.
Okay. I'm
I
all
didn't know-
confused.
Yeah, I didn't know which one it was because I don't think we had a picture of the reverse on the other email.
Mm-mm.
Major ear, or part of the hair, perhaps. That's a clash.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's got all those other dings in it, though.
How dare you call John Muir a ding?
There's a little town not too far from me named Muir.
Well, I
I'll
thought
tell
you
you watch any of those minting videos, and it's amazing that any of those coins come out not just hammered to crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they go in those hoppers, and oh gosh.
Well, and then you got people yelling at me for dropping a penny on a wooden table, whether it rings or thuds. You're going to ruin that coin. Seriously? Are you actually telling me that right now? Because you need to go look at a minting video and see what
Oh my
torture
god.
these coins went through before I dropped them on a table.
It's like torture.
Yeah, you watch those videos and you understand why getting 6970s on coins is like a feat.
So there were actually a couple questions on this coin. Can we go back to the email picture? Okay, so Josh Moore is with us. I believe he's the guy that sent this in. It was Josh M.
Yes.
We have determined that it is a clash. There's clash marks visible on both the reverse and the obverse of the coin. Other than that, anything else I see on the coin, specifically behind the head there, that's damage. That's a contact mark. Scratches, scuffs, dings. But it's a die clash, so still a cool coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said that's the same coin. So the Cali is a clash. Yes.
I'm going back to Cali.
I'm going back to Cali.
Oh, wow. Thanks for telling us, Cindy.
Super Silverman. Hey, teachers, I'm assuming this is die deterioration, but the O in Monticello looks suspicious. What are your thoughts?
That's peculiar.
Good place to find some die chips. Oh.
Yep, I have this. I have the same one. I swear it.
Yeah, especially with the 64.
Yeah, you'll find die chips in most of the letters of Monticello from time to time. A lot of them you'll see them in cents. On 64s, you'll get bunches of cracks to the left and right. Wait a minute, the die chip's not here in this one.
No,
This a different one?
it didn't have. Well,
Okay, I'm seeing light glare. Well, no matter. You still get them.
That's a lot of glare, a lot of contact,
And a lot of deterioration.
a lot of deterioration. Typical on those.
Can we go back to that last image? If you look at the T, you'll notice that you see the same anomaly on both sides of the T. That's one of the easiest ways to tell that what you're seeing is deterioration. Usually a striated kind of look to it as well, kind of rough looking, so to speak. But yeah, and get used to it if you're going to be looking at nickels, because you're going to see a lot of it.
Let's see if I can open one up here.
I got PVJJH coming in just a second. I don't know if that's the one you're working on.
I'll take Super Silverman.
All right.
Yeah, folks, it's fast approaching my witching hour here.
I thought you might be fading out. You've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, I've got to get a little bit more work done before I go to bed, and I've got to get to bed so I can get up in the morning. So, yeah, it works that way sometimes. I tried staying up all night once, and that didn't work. I slept all day.
Well, we have 2 coins left that came in prior to 9.
Yay!
If we want to call it after these 2 coins, that way.
Yeah, call.
All right.
Did Frank send in those pictures though?
He's got to get them off of another computer. We can probably see him next week.
Okay, I thought he was going to send it. Go ahead and send us the afters. But yeah.
Cindy, I'll never be a witch, but maybe a warlock. Or start chanting in weird tongues. Wait a minute, I do that already.
PVJJH. After seeing the 3-cent nickel earlier got me thinking that I had one. Does this show a doubled die? And thank you for using the word doubled when looking at the date. Also, there seems to be a counter strike on both sides. Hard to see in the pictures, but you can see the depression lines. I think the head is on the reverse and upside down. Interesting coin, a ton of cracks as well.
3-cent nickels have lots of clashes on those.
They do.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
it
Look at that.
Oh,
is
yeah.
a clash.
That's a strong clash.
That's a very strong clash.
Can I have it?
A counter strike is actually where someone takes a punch and punches it into a finished coin. So counter strike and a clash are very different from one another. This is a clash.
Yes, it is indeed.
And it's upside down because of the
on both sides.
You can see the piece over on the left-hand side inside the field.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's in great shape.
Yeah, that is a crack.
That's a little crack. Mm-hmm.
And that's oftentimes how cracks are formed on dies. And when they smash into each other like that, it damages them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look over there on the left-hand side of the 3. You can see the chin and then the lips and then the nose.
You can see it on the right too.
Yeah, the back of the head.
Yeah, those are beautiful. That is a beautiful coin, by the way. Regardless.
Whoa.
I'm getting
here.
RPD.
Looks like an 8/8/7.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Can I have it? Whose coin is that?
Is that part of the clash or 7?
This is.
I'm thinking it may be part of the clash.
Might be part of the clash. It doesn't have the same appearance.
Can we zoom back out and get the full coin pics?
Wait, did we ever figure out whose coin that is? Because I want it.
PVJJH.
Can you see one of the numerals under the braid in the field?
That's exactly what that is.
Paul Hampton, can I have it? I'll be your best friend.
I said I knew exactly who that was. I didn't know whether he wanted to be identified, though.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that was part of the clash there, but it's definitely a repunch date with major die clash. That's a nice coin.
Do we have a close up of the second 8? Oh, that's gorgeous. You have 1881. This a proof, by the way?
Yeah, it does have long anchor doubling, Frank.
Doesn't say.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a match.
I got to see that. Cherry. Do you have a cherry picker's guide open?
Oh, I've got home.
Here's mine. You can use mine.
I've got you right here. That's a wonderful match. Okay. Whose is that? I'm going to put these up side by side.
It's
Paul
Paul.
Hampton.
God. Oh, PVJJH. All right. And I can pull that one out. There. Okay. Now I got to pull up. How do I do this? Oh, I got to get a picture of the screen and a picture of my coin.
That is not in the cherry picker's guide. How's that possible?
Okay, we'll just fake it right here. Where are you? Are you ready?
Possible. What book do you have, Brain?
Down here in the aid, you are just about a perfect match for repunch date number 6. Okay, and this is the authoritative reference on 3-cent nickels by Fletcher and Flynn.
Flynn.
However, this is a proof that this one is seen on, which is why I'm asking you if your coin is a proof. Otherwise, if it's a business strike, they took the proof dies and punched some business strikes, but you were a dead-on match here. Oh, let's see.
The fact that we have a clash on that coin, wouldn't that almost eliminate it as being a proof? Almost.
Not necessarily.
No.
Breen has this as listed as proof 1881 B13. Repunch date 1881 over 88, where the 2 8s are repunch, and it's dead on. You get the little points inside here. Die markers, heavy retooling on United States of America. Let's look for that. On the reverse, you've got disconnected leaf above the right ribbon. And that's all we have for information on that. But you're a dead-on match.
I did see some long anchor doubling on the reverse.
The disconnected leaf is there. Check that out.
That's your disconnected leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it a proof, or did they use the dies to create a business strike?
That definitely could be a proof.
I don't think so. It's not sharp enough. I've seen 3-cent proofs. Almost all of them are cameo.
Yeah, they're beautiful things. They're mirrors.
This one doesn't look proof at all.
So in which case you now have another designation because this is listed as a proof.
Is there another one on the other next page, Ken?
Well, hey, Paul, since you have this coin, maybe you want to check out that book. Probably not a cheap one, though.
This is about 25, 30
Die,
bucks.
maybe? That's what Anne's asking. Proof die?
The authoritative reference on 3-cent nickels can probably be purchased for under $25 through Wizard Coin Supply. They have a lot of the older books.
I don't think it's an impaired proof either. I think they reuse the dies.
No, there's little to no chance that this is a proof. It doesn't even look like a proof coin.
Can we have a look at the United States of America and the obverse?
So there's definitely something going on at the U in United.
Yeah, I'm looking for some retooling is what I'm looking for.
T, E.
This is broken.
Long anchor doubling on the O and F. Oh, yeah. That is just a beautiful coin.
That is a nice coin.
Well, I don't have any images of the retooling on here. So one option is it was a proof die used to make a business strike. Another option, it was doubling on the hub, and the hub was used to make both the proof die and the working die.
You mean on the date?
Because I've got the same doubling inside the date. I've got the same
But
repunching.
the date wouldn't have been on the hub back then, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be hub doubling.
Well, I don't know. 1881. Didn't they carry these dies? You know, horse and buggy between the mints, maybe
On their backs.
up in the windstorm.
That's a proof.
That's a proof. Oh yeah, big difference.
One thing to note: look at the inner rim right around the denticles.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chuck, right.
One thing to notice about the proof. Let me go back to this image. Look at that.
Yeah. It's got the same date.
There you go.
Very interesting.
So my guess is they reused the die.
I'm not sure. I don't know how many different dyes were used for the proofs. It could have been any number of different dyes used for the proofs.
Usually mintage on these is less than 1,000.
But I'm seeing what appears to be the same date issue going on with a lot of them.
So is
I gotta
that
wait for this image to come up, but it will come up eventually.
You know, Shay, just a little side note.
issue?
But you see how sharp everything is on this coin? There's absolutely no way that the coin that we're looking at is a proof.
Yeah, I totally agree.
What were you going to say, Chris?
Shay, I was going to say in 1881, the first working three-wheeled car powered by electricity was shown off by French inventor Gustave
Planchette.
Trouvé. So could have been carried by an electric car in 1881.
Along with the planchettes. The dies and the planchettes.
I don't know. Were there any coin shortages at the time where they would have to reuse the dies?
They reused the dies a lot back then.
Yeah.
I don't think it had anything. I think they were just cheap. They just did it just because.
But
It was frugal.
But it's
Frugal. Thank you.
It's also kind of interesting that it would be a proof die that was later used to strike business strike, and it's clashed the way it is. It's like the end of the life.
Yeah. That's a keeper. That is an unlisted variety because it's a business strike, not the proof.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
got one last coin.
We got one last one. This will be
Chuck's starting to take articles of clothing off, so I think it's time to go.
That's right, guys.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
Are you getting naked over there?
I thought you'd be more tan living down south.
You need a saxophone?
I'm not looking.
I'm in North Carolina now. I don't live that far south.
Well, I saw some nipple there. I'll probably never get that out of my head.
Man, I didn't rewind. I missed it.
all right. So this one doesn't have much of a note. It says dryer coin. Here we go.
Oh, I got this one open. Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Are we saying yes to dryer coin or yes, I have it
The
open?
worst sending Nicole wants to know about the 3-cent nickel.
You'd have to get it attributed first. If you wanted to get that attribution listed on the slab.
That's
Dryer coin to me.
It's a peach. I'll give it that
whatever caused that.
much. It's a contender.
It could have been a contender.
What year is that?
That's a dryer coin.
Yep.
Yeah, regardless,
Do dryer made after 1992.
the things did happen. I
I
mean,
love this one, all the folded over metal.
Does it show the date?
2000 something.
2000 something.
That's kind of odd that you have that much metal folded over on a plated zinc cent, but I mean that's what it is.
It's a little dark, but it looks like an 08.
Wonder how many people are gonna want to rewatch this just to see Chuck's nipples.
Oh, I know I am.
If you pay me enough money, I'd do it again.
Many times.
I'm gonna have to delete this video.
I'm going to put it on a loop and just loop it.
Oh, my God.
Loop the nipple. Shay, you look all innocent. Like, oh, you guys are embarrassing.
I would actually say he looks more devious than anything.
I was listening to my wife curse in the other room, hoping you guys couldn't hear it because she was.
We didn't hear. I missed that too.
What's she watching tonight?
She's watching.
Steelers of the Browns.
Uh,
Browns. Well, are you still live?
Yes.
Oh crap! I'm sorry.
Hey,
Is that why you keep going on mute? Because you have an uncontrollable wife?
you should have heard me on Monday, Brianna.
you should have seen Chuck. What's behind
yeah?
Chuck's head?
Huh?
Yeah,
I was cussing like a sailor on Monday night.
you showed Chuck.
I'm a 49er fan, and my kids are Seahawks fans. So I was in my bedroom, and they were in the family room.
There we go.
It was not a happy home.
Iron Curtain defense.
We need to see Chuck's.
Yeah, show Chuck.
Show Chuck, Ken.
Oh, I'm over here looking at 3-cent nickels here. Let's see. Where's
Girl,
Chuck?
You act like this is a coin Q&A or
what
something.
are you doing down there, Chuck?
There's defense.
My screen.
Something
Oh,
freaking dropping
Iron Curtain people. That's the Iron Curtain.
lose to the Browns.
Steelers.
Another freaking touchdown. 3 take. Yeah, the Browns.
Not
Not watching.
I'm not. So
Is the
just
game's
ruined
not
it.
over? The game's not over.
it's recording. Thank you. I don't want to miss the first 3 quarters because I know.
That's why you wanted
keep
to
that
go.
up, Shane. I'm going to tell you what happened on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Hey, I don't want to hear that either.
watched it the same night.
This is where I left off of the game. This is before the beginning of the game. So
we still have 7. We still have like 5 or 6 minutes. So
Right. you guys keep going at it. Now I'm
La, la, la,
watching the game.
la, 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 la.
Everybody's saying that.
hi guys. I'm not,
Takeaways.
sorry,
12 rumble recoveries.
I didn't realize you were still live. I thought you were just talking to
Well, if you're going to keep Chuck on there, he needs to show us his nipple again. That's just not right.
You had to be there.
Walking on.
You had to be there.
I never, ever thought I
Missed it.
would ever see that in my life.
What?
Chuck, show my part.
Coin show, right?
Yeah, but I don't think you're talking
Right.
about.
To be fair, they're about the size of $50.
I'm the only guy who's ever dropped his drawers to his ankles at a coin show.
We started making sure that this is only 13 and up, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm out of here on that conversation.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Score giver awayer.
You didn't say anything.
You don't remember any of that. Those words did not.
Stop it, Cindy. I'm going to, oh, dang it, she's a mod. I was going to put her in timeout.
I am recording it, Coin Dragon. Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking up that 1881 all over the place here. PCGS does not have it listed in their variety listings.
Ken's the only one actually still working.
Yeah.
You'd have
I was waiting to see Coin Dragon's pictures of his coin after he
Whoa.
froze and he
Pretty
did
good.
freaky.
Where you go with that, Paula?
Yeah.
Huh?
Right. Don't pause right after Coin Dragon's pictures.
Yeah. He's going to send pictures of, and then you pause.
Mhm.
So over on PCGS, they do certify FS3.
Art, so was that really a nipple or a copper set?
Which is a different one than you have.
I have them taped to my chest.
You don't know what's going to happen on Thursday night.
Oh man.
Hey,
11 p.m.
Ken,
Well, yeah.
Breen's got 1881, date normal, or with traces of repunching in 88. Several varieties, proofs, and business strikes.
Yeah, we just found that out. But he's got a proof listed in Flynn and Fletcher.
Hang on.
PJ pulls out this business strike. I gotta find my way again. 1881. Yeah, because that was RPD number 6. So you got several more, but that's the let's see, that was proof. 81 business strike. All the others are business strikes except for the number 6. But here he's got a 6. That's a business strike, not a proof, which says it's a reused die.
Well, here's the books I found when I went to the 3-cent section in my library, getting your 2 cents worth and the Buffalo nickel. So
They missed a step.
I have a gap in there somewhere.
Yeah. So then I went over and let's look at what else. Konica, it's not in their master listings. They do buffaloes, they do pennies. They don't have 2s or 3s in their master list. Wexler does not have. So who are you going to send it to? I think the only ones that are going to certify this would be Flynn or Fletcher or me and Shay. And we're not yet recognized.
I recognize you guys.
Oh, okay. There you go.
You can see me.
Who am I?
Yeah. I would certify
It looks like a mushroom.
Members of the Copper Coins.
I would call it, before I certified it, I would call it an SD, a series doubling, because I don't have enough examples to determine if it was in fact a reused die or if it was doubled at the working hub level.
And as far,
But series doubling is going to happen on multiple dates, though.
Because of the way they repunch the data, yeah. So I'm leaning heavily towards a reused proof die.
That's where I thought we ended this story.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently,
sounds like-
Ken wasn't satisfied. He kept
Well, I
digging.
would want to know on that broken leaf, how many, other than the proof, how many business strike dies have that broken leaf?
But you're also talking about the
On a
reverse
reverse. Right.
where the reverse die could be a normal business strike die and the obverse die could be the proof die.
you had a lot of that on the half dimes too.
But it was the proof die that Ken said had the broken leaf.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece.
Yeah.
that points towards the proof die being reused for a business strike.
Actually, the proof die pair,
Hair, yeah.
There. Correct.
which makes it.
Well, he's got the clash on the back too. Yeah.
If you look at that PCGS photo that you had and compare it to the real coin that we're looking at, there's some weakness on the reverse that does not show up in the PCGS photo for the proof example.
That's because they're using a different variety. The only thing they have listed is the FS301.
Yeah.
If I'm going to blink, there's nothing I can do about it. If I want to use my browser, I have to blink.
Yeah,
Blink
we
away,
have to
maybe.
see an
If
image.
I blink my
of that
eyelids,
die.
Here, I'll do it.
my eyelids at the same exact interval, it doesn't even look like you're screaming.
That's what I know. I had to do that last week. I'm like,
Yeah, but neither of these. You got Fletcher, Flynn, 5, 3, and 1 are what NGC has listed. They don't have RPD 6 listed. Really, that stands out compared to these others.
The answer about the leaf, Paula, is that the business strike can have that broken leaf because I'm looking at business strike images,
okay, that was my question.
and almost all of them do have a broken leaf.
Okay, that was my question.
So I can't come up with a census.
It would have to be identified in other markers and some other way.
Let's see. 1, 5, 7. NGC has 7 that they have certified.
I did notice there were certain things on the motto that I don't know if they would be something you could look to see if those are on the proof dies, or if you could find a specific proof die that had those anomalies on the motto, or if that's just normal. There were several.
I wonder if Chuck eats Carolina-style chips.
I don't know, but Chuck owes me a bag of plantain chips.
I don't do Carolina barbecue because it's vinegar based, and I don't like vinegar.
Oh, I love vinegar-based barbecue.
It's nasty.
Oh, I love it, especially on hot wings.
Now you're from Oregon, so I'll give it to you.
I'll eat anything though, really. I don't care. I know I don't look like I eat a lot, but I do.
Well, most people with tapeworms don't look like they eat a lot.
Well, it's not exactly a tapeworm, but it's very similar. I absorb nothing.
Coin information.
And good to see you, CJ.
Exactly. Maybe that's why I absorbed the coin information, because I don't absorb anything else.
CJ's come up for air.
CJ!
He's a working fool.
There he is.
Yeah. Okay, I would say you have probably one of the best examples of that known in business strike. I haven't seen any others until just now. And I like 3 centers.
Nice coin. Thanks for sharing. We spent about an hour on it.
Yeah.
I could spend another 3 hours on it.
And I was in bed 30 minutes ago. I already took my shirt off. So you guys are just seeing the Fig Newton of your imagination.
Yeah, that's stuff we don't need to know about.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, let's call it.
Awesome, Paul.
Hang on. Ken?
I learn a ton every time I am on this panel, every week.
That's a business strike right there.
It's not the RPD-6 we're looking at, though.
It's not the same one, but it is an RPD, and it's on a business strike.
1881. So
Sounds like that seems to be pretty common on those 3 centers.
Seems as such.
Yeah, I picked a few out before.
Let's see.
I mean, if they're reusing dies and stuff, then they're probably retouching and
Retooling. We've got evidence of
retooling and, you know.
these are skills they don't employ anymore. Just make another die.
They are wrecked with issues, CJ, but they are beautiful coins. I have to say, I do like those 3 centers. They're nice.
People like us love those issues.
Exactly. Fortunately for us.
And the date's the same front and backwards.
And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Chris. Collect what you love. You know, there are a lot of collectors out there who would look at coins like that with the clashes and stuff, and they'd be like, nah, next. We'd be like, gimme, 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 gimme.
I just can't understand people like that.
Meanwhile, you lost so many of these
Perfect. They want
ravages of time.
it's damage. Okay.
I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Big damaged coin.
I'll take your damaged coin and ask for another.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You go 1881. You're looking at what are you looking at? Maybe 6,000 surviving specimens. The mintage was 1 million, a little over that. So it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th most common out of the several strikes you have. But how many have been lost at time? Almost all of them. Over 1 million of the 1,077,000 have been lost. So when you find these die varieties in these old coins, 18th century, early 18th century, they are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
And if a dealer tells you that they think varieties are just damaged, look through all their stock and cherry pick.
Yeah.
I'll take this one. It's damaged. I'll give you half the money.
Yeah, just call everything. Look, this was damaged. Discount, right?
Hey, look, this penny has 1955 in it twice. Can I give you 3 cents for it?
Oh, nice.
Just pay a half that.
Yeah.
Tear it up.
Get him to put it in writing first.
Well, there's your somewhat detached leaf there.
It's different though, right?
Mhm. The other one was just the tip.
Just the
I know.
tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but this is also a different obverse die, as we've already figured out.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reverse dies don't have the leaf fully attached to the other leaves. That's that.
Yeah, it's a peach.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Was there another coin or was this it?
That was it. We looked at a dryer coin.
One of my favorites too, Paul.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
that's right.
My coin.
Yeah, I'm spent.
Yeah.
Time to get back to blowing my nose and coughing and sneezing.
Have fun with that. I want
But
to get back to watching
all of
the Steelers
you,
beat the dog pack.
tentatively, Ken Peavy might have Friday Night Madness tomorrow night if he's not still moaning and crying over his man cold.
I'm suffering here.
hey, give the guy credit. He still showed up to work today.
I'm working on him though, getting
I'm
back to
working.
Friday Night Madness hill. So
I don't
I've
moan.
been working feverishly to get this.
Blinky over there, blinky blinky.
Nah, I quit blinking. I moved my browser.
Okay.
So
Good to see all you guys coming back and
hi here.
sending great photos tonight. Really appreciate that, front and back. And
Fun as always.
yeah, it was
Tell
good.
your friends.
Yeah, if you like this sort of thing, chances are that the other people you collect coins with and talk to about coins, they would like this too. So be sure to share the link,
that.
or the several channels as we rotate around. And geez, the more the merrier, we say.
Chuck's gonna have it one of these weeks.
As soon as he
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
There's an orb fly in front of me.
An orb.
What the heck is in you tonight, man?
Chuck.
I want an instant replay. I want to see it again. I saw something float over in front of me, and there's no bugs in here.
Not this time of the year.
I have no. That was barely above freezing outside. It's cold.
You did miss it all, Sun Hoarder, but you can go back and watch it and give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, there we go. Now next week, who's up next week? I think it's Shay's turn.
That way.
I think so.
Unless Chuck wants to do it.
There it is.
Christopher can't. Or he can and he won't. We haven't
One
figured it out.
way or the other, I'll do it. I mean, I don't care.
Well, let me tell you something. I have a Dell Latitude E6500 with Windows 7 Pro on it. So do you think I can do it? Answer that. Do you think I can do it? Because I don't.
Hey, there are major corporations out there that still run that Windows platform.
Yeah, well, guess what? I keep getting emails that they're no longer going to support it. So
Yeah, well, I have a computer that I don't even think has Windows. Ken and I haven't figured that out yet.
It's got Windows something. We know that much. Which Windows? God only knows.
And the sad thing is that tower's been turned on about 3 times. So it's a brand new computer.
Hmm.
Anyway, well, you gentlemen work it out amongst yourselves.
Yeah, we'll plan on next week.
Who?
We'll plan on Mantic Coins like next week. Chuck, we need to get some practice in on using Streamlabs with you hosting.
So you want me to do it next week?
We could do that. It's not a problem. We can pitch in.
I don't care.
We've been pitching in.
I can take it next week. I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it'll be on my channel, Copper Coins, next week.
It's decided.
Spread the word.
Yeah. And thanks for coming in, guys. Get your good
Thanks,
coin.
everybody.
Take a photo.
Stanley, do not tell me who won the game. I don't want to know.
Okay. You big baby.
How about them
I
Steelers?
still have to watch the game. I still have it on pause.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Copy and teach them up.
See you guys next time.
Take off.
Bye, guys.